Fortnite, the world here. Here's Light now. We're jumping over to the docks on the eastern portion of the map right here. There's a couple of players here. It's a highly contested drop spot this time around as Vervana, Wesley, and Don't Care down on the low ground now. Light just kind of messing around these old enemy builds here, trying to see what he can find, even minimizing the builds right there. Often a little parkour action, hopping on top of the structures here. He's looking around. He's trying to see if he can find the perch here. I mean, I like the ambush right now. I like the tactics, sitting ready, right? Ready to pounce onto the action. Yep. These elims are very important. Look at his points, Sancho, 46. He's in the pack. He's in the running right now.
He's in the running, and you said this earlier. It's not about winning in terms of money. This is about just qualifying, getting in at 20. Such a low number as Light puts in some big numbers right there with that nice legendary attack. He's getting some nice work with that, and he's going to be... Now, this is going to be interesting here, Monster. This is a third-party situation. You don't want to overcommit, and that's what Light is doing right there. He's just staying on the outskirts of this fight. He did get it, but just like that, he did get his elim taken from him. No doubt Light's going to have to seek some retribution right now. He's going to fight for high ground, but that is, didn't have to put a lot of resources into this fight, but no doubt missing out on that 4 points there.
The legendary shotgun, though, this is the kind of battle he wants. This is the ones that he can favor, especially in this early game right now as a player we know is on the run here. He's running low on material, though, Sancho. He's got to conclude this fight here soon now. Trying to get on over. Good cone, but the player's going to phase on through. Can he catch Joyce? And he is going to find all the shots he needs. And now that's 4 more points in the bank here.
Yeah, he could have had 8 there. No doubt. He did a nice spray on the other player, but that is showing the power of the weapons right there. The other opponent didn't have a strong enough tack, and that legendary tack shotgun was able to put that damage output right there and able to get that elim. As we're on board with Clips here, we did see him early in the broadcast as well. In the middle of the pack, sitting at 45. This is a great, healthy place to be, especially at this point of the tournament. And he, not only that, walking away from Deadpool's yacht with a great kit, Monster.
Yeah, and I mean, the theme of the players that we've really been highlighting is mainly players that qualified through week 1. Players that either got past the opens, got past the week 1 kind of invitational weekend, and played into week 2. All these week 2 dominators, if you want to call it that, they're the guys who are clearly ahead of the pack right now, and they're proving that, hey, maybe I didn't have the greatest week 2 at the drop spot, but changing either strategy or just being better at playing those drops in what's left of the lobby, it's showing off right now. And Cubic's going to kick things off with a big shot. It's going to be 3 ARs that are going to connect right now, and in comes the push. Just take a look at the kind of burst fire right now, not, kind of opening too much of the magazine into the player. Still having enough, still having enough to kind of take this battle here. He's trying to get over, and this is not a player you're going to get one easy over. It's Umi who's on defense right now. He's running for his life, Sancho.
Umi on the back foot here, and ooh, that was a close 50-50 to take, Monster. He did put in some good damage to 75, just not enough, and I just like the confidence of pushing with that calm and tack, but you call it yourself, not an easy out, big play from Cubex there.
Crazy. We just looked at the 97th and 100th place from week 2 go toe-to-toe, players that were literally playing at the same kind of range of game here. But no, hold up. We're tuning in with Bang right now, who goes for the edit. It's the 94. He wins that, takes all the shield. And now all of a sudden, he's got pressure from 2 different angles. There's players here jumping in. He tries to end it with Kira, but Kira's going to close it out. Can Kira, who was taking control of things before, come back right now? The grappler is not in his favor anymore, so it looks like he was chased out of the Shark. This is a drawn-out battle, an extended fight here now. Great shots, and that grapple player was trying to close the gap. With every pullback, though, he exposed himself, and it's all right. He gets away for free, and things start to settle now.
Settling down right there. I mean, that's the thing that we kind of haven't hit on, the grappler, their monsters. Sometimes, you're in that moment in the air and you're very vulnerable. I mean, that he was tagged multiple times, 33, but no doubt you still want to protect that grappler, and that's why he's disengaging, using that ability to get away, as we see El Fishy here chilling, vibing out here at the agency. No doubt one of the strong points of this POI, this point of interest, Monster, is you have the ability to not have to over-rotate or over-exert yourself, and looks like Fishy is waiting the cone. I think he's waiting for somebody to open up the vault because he doesn't have the key.
I mean, he might have already gotten it. I don't know. I saw the drum gun there. Maybe he's waiting for someone to walk into the vault. More importantly,
yeah.
Probably...
You know, someone like, hey, what's going on? Is this vault open? And then bang, you know what I mean? Like that is one of the things we've been seeing. A lot of the cleverness we've been seeing, like the high Q, the game sense, as they've been saying on the Reddit posts, is like it's off the charts. And you're seeing a lot of players right here. For those of you who have never tuned in, the Fortnite competitive scene, welcome. But you're seeing a lot of people use these opportunities in the mid game to scout, to get as much information, to navigate, to figure out what is their next point to movement. You know, it's like a ever-evolving chess game that's happening. But these are the moments that are still very important, just as much as those early elims, Monster.
And that's the thing. It's all tactics. It's all mind games. You play to your strengths. As Ale here is just hanging out, and it might be successful. Here it goes. All the time he's invested to kicking it down here in the vault. Is Ale going to be able to pour up a drink right now? We will find out. Let's see. He's holding the edit. So I was going to say, from his perspective, he can see outward. So whatever is here, he's got lay of the vision here now. And it's going to work. Yup. He's going to find L2 OP right there, who walked right on in. He opens up the cone and meets him with the drum gun, as you can imagine. And now all of a sudden he gets to replenish up on some loots and much needed material there. He's kind of vibing here.
Yeah, and you know what? That comes with experience, you know, knowing that you play arena, knowing that you probably play in those elite scrims, knowing that somebody's going to show up eventually and rotate through here, and someone's getting a little bit greedy and stick their hand in the cookie jar. And we're on board here with Fielder Moyes, looking really well as well. 37 points, has a great kid as well, has floppers, have the pad, but now he has an opponent right in front of a Monster, so he's going to have to do his best to make sure not to use up all these resources that he's earned, that he's looted up, that he's farmed. He has the high ground. He's going to have to up here for a bit. Does have a flopper in the back pocket here. Monster is not looking it's going to be that there's any other third party here, though.
It's a dangerous time to take a fight, but it's okay because things are looking like it's good for him. He owns the double wall here. He's going to choke one of the edits, and that is going to swing the momentum once again out of his favor here. Like we said, you waste your material now, you're not going to have a lot of options left when it comes back to refarming and getting back into the game. Great control of the comb there, though, now. He's just losing the angles right now as the God edits are coming out from the opponent. And again, the full 50-50. And this time, Flutter is going to hit the mark. Jamin Falls was very close, though. Very close.
Dude. 9 HP, dude. 9 HP in a dream. I mean, it comes down to those things. I mean, you saw the confidence, you know, the opponent there had. He kind of hit him once, and then he totally exposed himself going for the 50-50. And we talk about taking calculated risk, and that was one of those risks that you kind of have to take at this moment. I mean, you said so yourself, that's one of those fights he had to get that win because he invested so much. And at that point, you're just like playing, you know, Texas Hold'em. You're all in, as we're on board here with Hellfire. And the very nice kid as well. And I like this play right here in Slurpy Swamp. It's one of those things, it's a natural basement, and you could kind of chill, and there's actually a lot of metal in this area, so he does see someone in this basement, and it's going to be a very 1v1 area. There's no one that's going to be able to jump into this fight here, Monster. It's like a good old-fashioned box fight. If he wants it, though.
He is.
If he wants it.
He is very much secluded here, and that's what he was waiting for, trying to get that heavy sniper ambush to happen, holding back on even pulling it out so they can not necessarily give away too much information. But look at the piece control. Every time he breaks the wall, he's looking to grab that structure. So, again, just doing a good job right now. And this is also interesting. If he could just take the floor, you can set up the RPG boost into the box. As Crypt, Dane Zeno is down in the low ground right now. Crypt is trying to hide out here. Let's see, though. The heavy sniper again jumps in. This is what he wanted to do. And the first shot's going to find its mark there, too, now. Hellfire is in the game. All that for another elim, and these are such crucial elims. The players that find them here with max material in center zone, they're the ones that tend to win or come out in endgame successful.
Seeing another battle breakout here near Weeping Woods. We're back to Kira. Kira as well, having a successful day, 63 points. Now on the back foot here, Monster. Nice extension here. Gonna give themselves a moment to breathe. Switching over to hard mats, just in case the other person wants to get aggressive. He has the ability to hold him back a little bit. And of course, popping out those minis here. Now, I like this. We see this kind of gameplay here, Monster, where you kind of have a grid space in between, and you could still reach out and edit and place walls. So this is something that we've seen a lot of great box fighters do, and he's just creating pressure as Scout is now definitely on the back foot, retreating on low on HP, Monster.
I was trying to see if he was going to recognize that Scout made the accidental pre-edit right there on the wall because he was throwing doors down in advance here. And now, the quick edit, though, he's going to let this player into the box. Kira's not going to find what he needs. This game in its own, he's scored 5 eliminations worth of points here. So 20 points already just off the elims. This is such a big game for him. It's a momentous game for his placement right now. Is he going to be able to hold on to it or throw it away, though?
And he's having this fight in such a big area, right? Look at how open this is. And you talked about it earlier. Having this fight so late into the rotations game is very important. He has to win this. It's very important for the rest of his run here. Because if he doesn't win this, there's a third person coming in hot. And those rockets are coming in hot, Monster.
Yeah, it's only becoming more and more of a weird situation for him now as he's dwindling on mats. 200 material. It's do or die now. Is he going to be able to hit this shot right here? The wall behind him is not his at all. There goes the danger, recognizing the ramp boost again, and now wastes a little more material. He's going to back more up. And yeah, it's all over right there. Still a great game, remember, with 10 opportunities. These are games that you can get in, kind of throw away, and then boot back up so you can get all 10 of your rounds in. So a phenomenal round nonetheless for Kira there.
Yeah, you see Scout is actually surviving all that, right? He kind of like chilled out. You hear the other shots like, all right, bro, I'm going to chill right here. You go take care of that thing. As we see Jetsu here taking care of business as well, 44 points. But that's the dangers we're talking about. That EU special, right? Taking these kind of fights and
আমি ভাই এতক্ষণ বললাম না আমার কুত্তারে গোসল করাইলাম নিজে গোসল করলাম বাড়ির সব পর্দা খুললাম এত রাত
nailed it on the head there, Monster. Elims, no matter what. Because if you rack up these elims, you mean
কান্ত ভাই আর ঠিক 5 মিনিট পরে ঢুকো আমি শুধু রুমের পর্দাগুলো এখন লাগাবো মানে ইতার সাথে তো সব পর্দা খুলে
we're not talking about top 80.
পর্দাটা জাস্ট লাগাই 5 মিনিটের মধ্যে
we're talking about top 20.
Yeah, this is the reboot round. You really have to play for the top of the top. There's no kind of just squeaking by. Those opportunities are long gone. That was what week 1 was for. That was what week 2 was for. Now you have to play at your best caliber. Not only that, you have to play good today. You have to play even better for grand finals, right? Coming into Saturday, Sunday, because there's even more on the line. So if the stakes weren't high enough already, they're coming in with more pressure here to perform for several days. I think he's going to find someone, what looks like possibly disconnected or stepped away there. So Anarchy is going to be a free elim for Jetsku here. And this might be a turning factor for him. That's a 3rd elim for this lobby in its own, and then the refresher that he's catching in this mid-game right now. Zone 4 is the most chill of the zones right now, and as I kind of speak to that, Hellfire's making sure it's not at all. He's bringing the heat here to Shaka with the RPG right now, really forcing things into action, forcing things into motion. Let's see, though. Amp is just sitting by. He's waiting for the opportunity to shotgun it.
Yeah, man, it's so interesting to see. Is like, you've been in this situation before, and I'm sure whoever's watching, like a lot of the people that have qualified for next week are watching right now, doing watch parties, those EU people, the top 80 are no doubt be like, man, I feel bad for that person who's getting rocketed in minigun right now, especially look at the zone right now. If you look at the bottom right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is the congested zone. So we're having this breakout fight in the congested zone. The north side of the circle is Weeping Woods, and we're about to get into what's called the half in, half out, the 5th circle, and that's what's going to be very interesting. If the circle pulls to the north side, you're going to see this crazy fly away from everybody as this nice play from Lazarus right now, using the harpoon to get that safety loot. But these are very interesting. These elims, Monster, are the ones that you're going to need to get yourself into that top 20.
And I was just going to say, that's just like reminds me of the makings of a mosh pit, like one little bump turns into another, and all of a sudden everyone's swinging, and now now someone gets taken out, and he gets hit hard, he slows down, everyone backs up here. The loot's gone though. But all right, back with Ariana SMG, who we already know has pulled the victory royale this time around. Let's see. Ariana is on fire today, and it's going to catch M10 Aimsons right there, a veteran that we know from the comp scene. He's in the zone, though.
Shout out to this name, Ariana.
It's clever.
What I mean?
I like it.
It's clever. I like it. This big grande plays coming out of nowhere here. 65, doing really well, being very confident. Has flops for days, but no doubt getting hit for days right now. But he just got himself right now, and this is what I like to think. And, you said so in your many VODs that you do, Monster. You just got chill right now. Just chill. Oh, and he gets zoned. What a big opportunity for Ariana.
Hey, and that's why you want to just hang out on zone 4, see if you pull that half in, half out. I mean, it's a gambit that you take, right? It's a gamble that you take.
Yes. Not
necessarily the risky play, but just hanging out, seeing if it kind of comes your way. When it does, I mean, you get to reap the rewards here as everyone else has to sacrifice their launch pads and things of the such. Look at what A-Pros is doing right here. He's trying to find a frag right now. He needs it because it's kind of middling on material right now, and that's what he's doing. He's trying to see if something can break out or if he can force something to happen here. He's trying to take fate into his own hands right now. With all these builds, this is why, you know, fighting in the mid game can be very treacherous. Now look at him. He's got this whole kind of base to work off of, but not a lot of mass to carry him any further beyond this.
Absolutely.
And the
grappler is going to...
Oh my gosh.
Oh, no.
Hey, well, that's what he wanted.
It comes to him, right? That's the thing. It came to him. It's like, here you go, dude. Here's your get out of jail free card. Here's a grappler. But you're right. That's the impact frag that he was looking for.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to put him in a much better situation now.
No,
he is a
dude.
third or two-thirds of the way.
Yeah, two pads. Oh, man, now he's what do they say? He's vibing right now. He's vibing. When the moment you think that you accidentally took something, you made a move too high, too fast, and all of a sudden you get a gift with a nice play. But yeah, Monsters, this is where things are kind of gonna get a little bit crazy, and it's gonna get a little bit more hectic, knowing that A-Pros has a heavy and a rocket launcher at his disposal.
I just want to note that this is actually provoked under a different alias, played terribly in week 1, only finishing 400th. So can he make a swing back? That's right. I mean, he was kind of thrown off his A game here. 50 points, though, coming into the lobby right now. It's pretty good. I mean, this round right here, this run he's on, has accrued upwards of 16 points just off of eliminations solo. Now with this guy's assault rifle and the grappler, I mean, this is his game to take away here. He just has to continue to dominate, pressure the lobby up, and half in, half out, or the first moving is actually going to pull his weight now. So he's going to be able to kind of chill here as everyone has to come towards him. And yes, this is what comes with it. A slew of eliminations, especially with the damage carry down that this weapon has here. Okay, now using the boost across here. Free launch pad that was basically delivered to him. The grappler now as well. Oh my gosh, jumps into the box. Another impact elimination here. It's Hoopback who falls there. Someone that we are keeping a close eye on to make it through to the grand finals right now. Will Swapson be able to hold the height, though? Will he be A-okay? He knows that there's a grappler in play now. I mean, he saw it, Sancho.
And it's interesting as well, you know, he had the double pad, so he could go ahead and use it for that move and that kind of fly right over and across and save so much resources. But we're on here with Fielder doing really well, but low on mats. So this is the opportunity to look for that impact elimination. Sitting here just outside of the 24th place. If he gets to the 20th place, he's going to pick up another placement point. With that, he's going to go ahead and jump right in. Now it becomes a 50-50 out in the open. Woo, he got one, so that's really great. Before you left the lobby, you know, you took like a snack right before you left the party. But yeah, making all that noise out in the open, eliminated. And here it goes, Monster. The storm is moving north, and we're seeing Cubex doing really well up there. Now we're on board with Spain.
We call those to-go plates. He tried to take one for the road, but he got busted. He had to leave it behind as he gets sent back to the lobby. Here's Sked, though. He's trying to see what he can do. He can find something. Legendary tactical shot. This is so good for jumping in boxes or for defending yourself from players that jump into your box. And he's going to be successful right there. The flopper, the one flopper, is going to be the reason he's sitting in the zone right now. Just opting to hang out here. He's going to find someone else. Can he get the extra shot he needs? All of a sudden, the zone's just ticking away. He's got to move, and lucky for him, it's going to favor him. Look at how it swings back in his way, keeping him alive right now. Here's Provoked, back on height, 6 eliminations. The grappler, which we knew was going to be able to help turn things around for him now, all of a sudden is doing just that. Looking like a good old textbook hold right here. He's got everything that he needs. There goes Ariana SMG, who's playing phenomenally today, taking out.
Rip.
That's right. Here comes the shots, the pressure, the high ground. It's all his here. Cutting across now, playing the zone.
playing the zone really well, provoked. I mean, even though there was a moment he didn't have high ground, but still, with the tools at his disposal, he's going to be able to get it back recently, and he got so many maps for those impact frags. Now he's just going to be like nimbly bimbly hopping tree branch to tree branch almost in terms of builds, and he's going to be doing so well. 74, and anybody who's going to contest him is going to get met with Sky's AR and a dangerous tack. So Monster, this is definitely everything's on the line for him. Top 10 already, 9 people left, but I do not see Provoke going down unless a major slip-up happens.
That is true. Unless he slips off the build, quite literally, he's going to be up there for quite some time. His presence going to take out Sked there, who we were following for a little bit. And no, he's going to find another one now. Cubics is going to fall as well. The zone making it very scary for him, though. He's going to find a little bit of real estate here, a little bit of land to stay alive. And again, look at how the elevation is just changing. It's going in his favor. It's slowly opening up, giving him more space in this low ground, giving him an entire layer to himself right now. The only way that he can kind of take this victory is if the high ground players fight one another. You can't allow the grappler Provoked to just sit here freely. If they don't do something now, that's it. He's going to take the running. Another shot. Just look at the angle, the pressure. Everyone's on wood builds. It's so easy for Sky's assault rifle to pressure this down, make good work of the lobby. Last player's alive now, Sancho. All he has to do is find the shot. That's one. Can he get the second one here now? He's lining it up. Present doesn't have anything left. I'm sorry to say it, but I think this is it. I think it's all in the line, and yes, he's going to jump down with a quick drop kick. Take him out the lobby.
And Provoked, that's all he wrote. 104 points, looking really good in the reboot round.
Such a big swing of things right there. Such a big swing of things. You see the old builds. You see what was left of the lobby. Provoked swinging his way back up after such a poor performing week one. I mean, maybe he just wasn't feeling that good or something.
I mean, thankfully, he had the reboot round to catch him there before he fell and hit the ground. I mean, 104 points. He's definitely leading up there right now. And, I mean, that's such a great way. Like, the best story of redemption, right? I didn't do well. I didn't make it to week 2, but I've got the reboot round. And in reboot round, I'm going to show everyone why I still got it. You'll love to see it. Guys, talk me through some of the things you enjoyed about that game. What were some, like, little micro decisions you saw players make that really kind of, you feel, gave them the edge there?
I mean, I just want to talk about Present, honestly, in the low ground, finding his way kind of through Cubics, through Sked, right? These are crucial clutch eliminations that if you don't pick up when you're kind of snaking your way down there, I mean, you're doing something wrong in the end games. There's tons and tons of times where pro players are playing so kind of focused for placement that they just forget, like, you got to take a little bit of risk if you want to hit top 20.
Yeah, and those are the risks that our players in the EU region are taking. So many box fights in Circle 3, just out in the open. And, you know, you cannot just rely on the game to bring things to you. Yes, sometimes someone shows up with a grappler and you take advantage of that. But at the same time, you know, you have to make that move. You got to take that first step to rejuvenate your way back into the grand finals.
And that's what's important too, right? Like, players are gambling it all right now, and it's all in preparation for tomorrow, the grand finals. So you have to also think about it, though. What you do today is going to reflect as the weekends go on, because if you are running your kind of POI right now, you still have to think about it and evaluate. Are you changing things from your week 2 performance, your week 1 performance? Because the kings of those points of interest, they're already in grand finals. You're going to have to see them. You're going to have to meet the maker.
And Zeke, I'm excited about, like, who's gonna stay hot, you know? Who can stay hot from reboot and get themselves into, like, a top running grand finals? And that, to me, that's what gets me hype about this whole entire thing.
I think, too, adding to that is, like, when we do see top 20, what does that mean for the 80 that are already pushed through, right? We talk about it all the time, POI contention. What if someone is like, no, that player that actually made it through, that was someone that I had my eye on, and because now they're through, that's going to make me rethink literally everything. These are stories that will develop over the next set of games. Now, guys, we're ready to hop back into the next game, so please let's hop off the battle bus with Monster D-Face and Sancho.
That's right. Thank you so very much, Zeke. We're hopping back into it. Coolest Carrot's going to be the player we touch down with first. And here's something else to just think about for the real grinders out there. We talk about VOD reviews, doing your homework and studying. This reboot round is a telltale round for competitors tomorrow. This is one more game everyone else gets to kind of study on, take a look in, gather insight from, right? Let's take it a step further. It is true. you're at a disadvantage. You really are playing with your back against the wall if you're in the reboot round. There's so much more going on.
So much is on the line, and maybe you make a play that you normally don't make. But Coolest Carrot has been very dominant here at the agency. Very comfortable here. This is one of our rising stars in the competitive scene. Has been doing really well, coming out of the open qualifiers. Now, had a little stumble a little bit, but now regaining his footing and doing really well in the reboot with the 2-piece there, Monster. And another person is here to fight. Oh man, so close. I like it though. I like it. That's a good round so far. He has 10 matches to play with.
I mean, if there's a moment to just get in and get taken out, hey, you want to get that 2 eliminations to go with it, right? Take that to kind of hit the road with you. I mean, just to touch on Coolest Carrot one more time, he finished 103rd. He did pretty good in week 2. I mean, he needed top 80, but he was close. He was on a streak, right? Nearly rounding out towards top 100 right now. But here's Option. Kind of tuned in with. So I think my feed's a little stagnant here. Sancho, I'm not sure about you.
I got you, homie. I got you. Option has lots of options right now, just chilling. There is someone right below him. He does have someone else on the south side. Misty Meadows hasn't had a lot of kind of pop-off little fights here, but no doubt Option is racking up some elims here. Just taking a look at his points, 21. Now he's looking pretty well right there. Does have himself a small fry. You can just wait and see what he's going to go ahead and do. Nice refarm opportunity. And Monster, I like what he's doing right now. He's doing really well. This is what they like to call recycling a lot of builds here. Well, actually, he's looking for somebody. He found somebody.
Yeah, I think it's looking good right now. I mean, he's still kind of in the swing of things right now. It's Misty Meadows. Such a hot spot right here. We see Hards. We see Kaizen just looking around, trying to see if he wants to jump in on this. He's not too sure yet. Not too sure if he wants to throw his chips on the table here. But Option is going to throw all his at the wall right now. He's got the card of hands in his favor. The deck of cards in his favor, and boom, Hards goes down. Kaizen's up above, now deciding he wants in on round 2 here. What's Option going to do? He's snaking his way here back against the wall. He doesn't own the kind of control on the left-hand side. That's what I wanted to talk about. Look, he loses the floor as well now. And this is all enemy territory, so he goes for the 50-50, and he catches Kaizen reloading with this guard down all of a sudden now, and Option's the winner.
Yeah, and he got himself a great upgrade in terms of shotguns, and he got himself some flappers. I mean, he's looking really good. And of course, Agency's always looking really good. And this is where Coolest Carrot kind of fell. And then now we're going right over to a little bit south where another big battle is happening here. Let's take a look as Cartoon is the one who was able to walk away from the Agency with that mythic drum gun.
Yeah, I mean, we can see what he can do with it. He doesn't have any reloads left for it. Whatever he kind of has in the mag is what he got. Yeah, this is all a desperate situation there. He puts the last bit of ammunition into the weapon. Someone's going to take that elim from him, though. As you see Harty catch the Stream Vic, or what I thought was right there, the sound cue. Maybe I was wrong. No, Keffy was still in the game, so that must have been someone else, something else. And because of that, he also lets his guard down. Now he's out of the game here. It's Hardy versus Keffy. And it was Hardy who caught the Stream Vic, so that means there was a third party who gets beamed. Carton thinks that, oh, Keffy's down. But no, realistically, Keffy was just lurking right nearby. He jumps into the fight now.
Dude,
one slip
Hardy,
up.
Yeah, Hardy was like, all right, I'm going to get this third-party elim, and then got beamed. He was like, all right, bro, I'm sorry. I'm out. Didn't mean to disturb you. I mean, we've all been in that situation when you thinking that you got this really easy third party, and all it takes is a couple of beams to the dome to back you away. But Option is now backing away on Misty Meadows. We first jumped into him with 21 points, now has 30, racking up 3 elims. So this is a very good start for Option. Got to pick up the speed a little bit if he wants to go ahead and get the top 20. I mean, this would be a great performance in week 1, great performance in week 2. But we're talking about top 20 here, Monster. You got to step it up.
And this is the time to do it. We're right in the middle of things. We're right in the thick of it. This is it. These are the final kind of options now to get your full games in or do your throwaways. If you can kind of turn things up here now, there's still plenty of time in the tournament to bounce back mentally, to get your points up and stay in the running. As we talk about that, we're going to the middle of the map here now. We're tuning in with Kaijui and Linear, who's jumping into the box right now. How's he going to play this out? Going for the wall takes here now. Player's down in the low ground. He's going into the catacombs of the base. That means this is only one kind of linear tunnel to play off of here now. it's straight ahead. He's going to put that pressure here, Sancho. And
put so much
Kaizu's
pressure.
on the run, just backing up.
Yeah, I mean, you heard that rocket, right? If you're Kaizu and you know this guy has a rocket and he's going to keep pushing me and I have no other way to go, but he did find a little cubby. You know, that little cubby right there, he's going to be able to have not a greatest of peaks right there. So he's going to, and that's what I'm talking about. He had to go all the way across his body. It's like throwing a pass, you know, threw a pass across his body, and Linear gets the interception right there and is able to walk away with that elim.
There it is. QG's going to fall now. Excuse the hiccups on the name pronunciation. Things are intense as you kind of jumped in there.
Yes, they are.
And into the action. But he's out. He's out of the running. Back to the lobby he goes. Lazy Lake is kind of clear now of all players. You can see what looks like a little war zone territory here. The builds, the messiness. Now we jump over to the swamps. The aftermath. Yes, exactly. Or with Smudge just rolling up the mountain now, trying to get his rotation going here. Honestly hoping to probably not cross anyone with the loadout that he has. He's very limited on the heals here. Slurpfish, you want to definitely save till later in the game to use. Big pot as well, only one of them. So look at the ammunition too. Just not a lot going for him. Percolino's kind of hanging out here. He doesn't land the shot he was looking for. The fact that he misses those first few, I mean, this is Smudge's opportunity to back up or take advantage of the natural height he was kind of granted in that fight. But I guess
I think you're right. He doesn't want to fight. He's just like, hey, I don't have a lot of resources. I don't want to use up these materials. I'm chilling. I just want to get to zone. I mean, this is the play style that benefits people like Zate, you know? Positioning is a key factor, and you got to take, if you're going to play the ambush style that we've been seeing developing here, Monster, you got to hit that shot. That's a very important. It's like an opening introduction. That's an icebreaker that you need to hit to get it right, because if not, you put yourself in a disadvantageous position here, because Preco, I think, was getting hit from behind a little bit too, because someone heard those shots. So very important to make sure that whatever thing you do, you hit that shot to get that opening line in your argument.
Yeah, Percolino definitely needed. I mean, Smudge doesn't have much here, so if he can find his opening kind of fragment right here, this frag right here, can he? No, those are 5 very rare and crucial bullets right there. And this is the fight that he's looking for, though. If anything, it's going to be a shotgun one where he has a little more ammunition to spare for the battle. These are the comfort zones that he's now putting himself in here. Just a couple more bullets now. This is it. He takes the wall here. He has the advantage. Takes the cone as well. The good piece control. He doesn't even jump in for the 50-50. He's not about that. He's calculated. He's cool. You saw it in the rotation. You saw it in the disengage. And now you see it in the setup that he takes in this fight right there. Very well played for Smudge.
Very methodical, man. Very chill. Was able to get that job done. As we're looking at Albert and Sam the One fighting out here on this mini junk. 31 points of the day for Sam. And a lot of hard mats going out right here. This may be the end of the fight that we're catching on board here. Sam definitely has got his opponent on the back feet. Albert has to do his best. Albert pushes up. A nice little play right there. Edit to get down into it. It was like an all or nothing play for Albert, and Sam the One was able to catch that, and kind of like a keto, that play right there from Albert.
Yeah, Sam was just tracking a lot better in that situation there. Expending all that. I mean, lucky for him, the fight is cleared up just soon enough before the rest of the swarm comes in from the northern half of the map. He's going to have just enough time here to bounce back and farm it too. As we know from the outside looking in, the map is clear. He has enough space to get his farm on right now.
Get your farm on. I love it. I mean, and especially with junk, you got all that metal. You got all those rocks along the river. You got some fishing holes that you can do. I mean, one of the things that I've been noticing, looking at a lot of pro gameplay, is knowing your loot path, knowing where to go after your engagement. And I've seen a lot of people post on Twitter, post on social media, how can I improve as a professional player? Or how can I improve just as, my own gameplay? Find out your loot path. That would be the most essential thing to do, because you could just wander around and not be efficient, but Sam is being very efficient in this fight, and this is what we're talking about, Monster, opening up with that 68 hit to the dome.
That's right, and he's got the weapons to do this too. The RPG, the upgraded shotgun. This is everything that he needs in his favor. All he's lacking is material, and that's what he's hoping to gain from this battle right now. Inside of the free point, the big shotgun shot's going to kick things off. The second one is going to find it as well. And now, all of a sudden, Heretics is out of this game, and Sam the One is the one in the lobby right here who's sitting comfortable coming into the game. That was a big quick come up.
And the tracking you mentioned in that previous fight. great. Was able to track that person jumping out of the air, hits 2 jump shots, and that is what I'm talking about. You mean, at the end of the day, you can build, you can edit, you can have piece control, but you got to have that gunplay to succeed and get you well on your way, hopefully reboot it back into the grand finals, because we're getting very close, man. Middle of the tournament here, getting closer to that the climax, and we'll see. We're gonna look at this, man. 99 points from Belasconi. That is a great day, no doubt, up on their leaderboards. But we're gonna see, man, as time goes on, what is gonna be that magic number? What's that threshold for our players to figure out? Do they need to? And that's when things are gonna get really crazy, Monster. Is like when people are desperate. They're gonna have to make some crazy plays and start really putting that W key all the way down on the keyboard.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what it comes down to, right? Like if you're not on track, all of a sudden you become demoralized, right? Let's be honest. People just start to throw away the games. So you have to be on your toes as you kind of get past this halfway mark right here. The player kind of craziness is going to come out, right? Mm-hmm. You don't know what you're going to go against. You're going to have players that are just going to push you in the mid game. You're going to wonder why. Yes. Everyone's on a different page all of a sudden, quite literally a different page in their chapter of book. We're coming with Motor who is focusing on placement. As you can see, he got to zone, he just hung out, and all of a sudden now he's got to cut all the way. He's not taking any risk by running through the mid game. These super late rotates. He's a fight off in the distance. There's no way that he's going to be able to cheekily take this one, will he? Just might, though. He's putting shots down from the opposite side. He is for nothing, for free. Yeah, he snagged those points there, Sancho.
Yeah, he did, dude. And those are the things that are big, man. That's a 4-point right there. No resource used. You've been chilling there the whole time. You kind of open up a lane for yourself to get that nice rotation. As you see, he is on the slow side of the circle here, so he's going to be able to get and look at his path, Monster. His rotation cleared. There's no one going to be looking at him. No little arrows, nothing to worry about, and he's going to have a great opportunity to refarm here. And I like the rest of the kit. So this Motor would definitely be someone to watch to see the rest of the way if he could speed his way to that victory royale.
Yeah, and this area was cleared out because of Sam, right? Sam already came through here. He swept the dust under the rug. He's already cleaned up the dirty docks. And now Mortar gets the free rotate, and that's what he gets for rotating late. He gets rewarded for that. The patience. We're looking back now with Berlusconi, who we know was at 99, 100 points now. Once again, these thresholds are constantly being tackled as time ticks on here, and he continues to become one of the last players left in the lobby. Placement points are crucial. He seems like he's doing the right thing right now by just hanging out. Nothing too crazy from him. Nothing too crazy from the rest of the lobby. As Items trying to force a fight here. Items firing in at Tiago, Yoa, and really all of a sudden turning the lobby against these players. I wonder what they did wrong just for kind of sitting in the wrong spot, I guess. And now all of a sudden the attention's on them.
The mosh pit, brother, it is happening. All it takes is one person to spill the drink, and hey, wait a minute, he spilled my drink, I'm gonna spill your drink. And now we just have ourselves a good old-fashioned box fight here. Tiago realizes he has this person on the outs, and Yawa gets bopped by Tiago right there. And Tiago is actually looking stacked, but he has to be careful because that minigun is a little bit of peppering, and that's really cool. You know, someone that's sitting, chilling in those towers out there in the outskirts, Monster, could be like an instigator, right? Can cause some havoc in the middle game. And that's very interesting. I know, like, the North American playstyles, a lot of people like to go to center and just chill. But you can still be instigated and then end up overextending yourself and then wasting all your resources.
Yeah, to touch on that North American player that does that so well is Zexro, and we'll see that. We'll see that happen. You'll see
later,
it,
baby.
Yeah, a little later. As time kind of goes on, he is definitely one who has that kind of player tendency to really all of a sudden start the pushing and shoving in the mid game here. We keep kind of hovering over this center portion of the map. You get an idea of players that are rolling on in. Shinken, another World Cup class player, World Cup qualifier, who's kind of cutting in now from the outside. This is a big moment for him, too, to continue to build his identity, right, as a player. Kind of being left behind as Stompy, Aqua, and the other sorts have really taken big lead, player profiles, and just presence in general in the competitive scene. Berlusconi, though, on his rotate right now. Let's see how he's going to be able to cut across. Look at the timing here. So nicely done. No hesitation. Very bold of him, though, to be out in the open. And that's the risk you take there. He gets tagged once. And pause up now. This is where he's going to invest big pot into himself here. It's all right. He doesn't have to rush out of here just too soon now. Not if he doesn't want to. Oh, he is. He's going to get ahead, so we'll see if he holds a grudge against the player that tagged him once right now. He is leading out. Yeah, you know it. It tends to happen here.
That's what he's doing, man. I mean, we talked about it. I mean, people have like, they're like elephants, man. They never forget who tagged you. You know what I mean? So they all of a sudden get aggressive and they turn about face. But Balasconi gets right in there and just gets bopped right there. Someone Porta actually like ported his way right into this box and did his job right there. And Portra is doing really well. But you know, that's what happens right there. You know, you kind of like, he tried to go for that free rotation, was unable to get it. And then he got paid the ultimate price, just being eliminated right there. As we're on board here with Trizox, sitting very nicely, but not a lot of mats. And when you're not having a lot of resources here, Monster, especially you see a mountain looming, you're going to be very desperate looking for those impact eliminations.
Hey, give him an inch, you try to take a mile there, you pay the price. Let's see what Trizox is trying to do as he's giving away a little bit of his rotate right here. Look at the edits. He's hoping someone walks through those old builds there. That's why he's prepping up. It's going to work out. It's going to work out. He's going to be able to take everything from this player. And another with the follow-up, the shotgun SMG. The 110, you saw the number pop up right there. That's the full body weight of the legendary pump slammed onto that player right there. Now, 2 more eliminations richer. More material richer as well, as he didn't have much coming into this kind of perched mountain spot. But hey, now he's got the ammunition to go. He can swing things really in his favor now.
And what a clever play. He set up the tunnel. He's like, hey guys, this is a free rotation. It's cool. No one's here. Everyone's gone. I've already rotated. Psych, I'm right here. And he gets himself a 2-piece right there. What a high level play from Trizox. No doubt getting those 2 impact eliminations that he needed. But now we're talking about an impactful player here with Camo. Camo doing really well today, 44 points. And he has this great kit here, Monster. And he just outside the half-in, half-out zone.
Is right. I mean, lucky for him, it's going to be just down the mountain. He's going to go with the early rotate here, trying to cut down across before everyone else gets an idea of what's going on and how they want to play it. This early rotate looks like it's going to play out in his favor. Yes, it is. He's going to be able to perch up right here, and now he can look at everyone else. This is the shooting ground you want to be in, because a lot of the times player will begin to launch pad across the zone here. So we're going to see him kind of set up for the launch pad plays. Yup, this is why he's trying to get that open air real estate and, you know, angle out and away from players that are on the mountain. Now he's firing at everyone, kind of cutting across. Will he find one? Those are white shots. There's a player right below him. He can hop in there if he really wanted to. He did find just enough. These shots, or those ramps, they're going to block some of that other angle. Manny's behind him, so he can continue to focus in now. More players trying to launch pad here. That's the beam we were kind of hoping to see, knowing that we were going to see option falls there.
The investment paying off for Camo, dude, with the nice beam on the backside, man. Great work right there. Camo coming in.
Oh, he got land on.
270th place. Oh, he did. Yeah. He got land on. I wonder how that's going to work out right there. And, you know, 278th place for Camo as we're on board here with Darker. Darker going to go in, trying to get a little bit of piece of real estate of the safe zone. 59 points. Doing very nice right now. I like the name of the Trash Panda, you know, doing his best to cause a lot of ruckus, as raccoons tend to do when you're out in the middle of the night. And he's going to get himself instant closer and closer with that burst AR. Getting some nice hits right here. And catches that person right inside. Gobbles him up. And there's a big play right there. And he's looking really nice with all the materials and weapons that are Monster.
That's right. Stuffed them in the black bag right there. Good edits. Good plays by Mr. Darker. We're up and back over. We have some RPG action going down right now. That player is going to launch pad across. He's going to use this opportunity while players are in the air to start cutting right now. Love that he's not waiting for anyone to land, not waiting for something to happen. Instead, he's taking this kind of rotate into his own hands here. He is hunting someone down right now, though. He's got everything that he needs, but nothing's reloaded anymore. Not the RPG, not the drum gun, now that he's bursted down most of his ammo here, so only relying basically on the shotgun here now. This is kind of ticking here. Good layer change. He's going to hop up just a little bit. He can't go too high, though. He really doesn't have, you know, builds to kind of sustain here. This is why he's hunting for an elim. He's going to tuck it into the old builds. He hears the shotgun. or the kind of collision of the RPG Finest Smart. Too much time, though. Too much time back here. He's still going, Sancho. He's still looking for more.
He's looking for more, and he does pick up one on there. Thiago, no doubt that rocket splash was a big factor there, Monster. Now 59 points. We're seeing that the Mice drum gun is just looking, essentially everyone that has a Monster is looking for fresh builds because they know they can kind of get their way into that box very easily. Now paired with the RPG, he's going to be doing some crazy damage right now. And you said so yourself. He's looking into the back line, looking back, trying to catch people who are just walking out, who are barely escaping that storm damage. And he is setting himself up for a nice run on the low ground.
That's right, and lucky for him, he is going to be able to cut across here as we're getting to the lighter portion of the lobby now, guys. Roughly 15 players in this game right here. Here's best solo player sitting in the zone playing for floppers right now, trying to see if he can get a little bit of that height real estate. Oh, he's going to find the grappler and a launch pad to recycle right now as well. What's he going to do? He's just trying to get ahead of the zone here, and this is really good positioning for him now, as he can decide whether or not he wants to look back at the zone. That's what he's going to do. Targeting height here. Rayos is going to fall down now. Squeeze is going to fall as well, so that means Portra is somewhere on height. And up goes best solo player. It's his time to shine now as the grappler gives him access to all the high ground that he needs. The fact that this player is on wood is an easy indicator that he can break anything on this player, so he's going to sit right on top of him. There's another player in the zone. He's going to find every mark there. Portra, we knew, was somewhere lurking. He was flopping in the zone. Sneaky little plays right there. Now it's up to best solo player to just pressure out the rest of this lobby.
Can he live up to the name that he's given himself? The best solo player, sitting with 45, doing really well. I've been seeing Monster. Anyone with the grappler, just kind of just sits and waits and gets the beams from the top because they know they could take height whenever they can. So he could drop down, grab the loot like he just did right there, and solidify his height dominance. This is a power position, and now we're in a top 3 situation.
That's right. This is his victory to kind of snatch up right here, as everyone else has to play around the water zone. That player being in the zone is not going to be enough. Shaka's going to fall there. And now it's just Linear, who's trying to swiggle his way around the old builds. He has a flopper still, though. He's going to eat it. The RPG is going to come out. He's going to trade, though, a shotgun shot. The fall damage comes in. The flopper comes out. The high ground gets blocked now. And all of a sudden, it's a fashion fight in the zone here. It's looking like Season 1 days, and it's not going to be enough. Best solo player is going to find a shotgun shot and ends the game right there. But it was close.
The best solo player lived up to the name. He's the best around, or at least in this match, in this server here. But wow, Zeke, what a crazy play that happened there. Almost getting into it. I like that old school storm fight, brother.
Yeah, man. And I mean, that took him up from 20 points all the way up to 73. A 53-point game, 5 eliminations, and the victory royale. That's what you like to see, and that's what you need if you want to be hitting in that top 20. Now, of course, guys, what we do need to do is take a look at the standings, because that is going to tell a very unique story as to what is unfolding here in EU. Do not forget, Fortnite fam, it is only the top 20 that will be moving on to tomorrow's grand finals. Right now, Coolest Carrot continues to hold his lead. 119 points, 20 eliminations, and a victory royale to his name.
I mean, let's call out all the players here in the running. It's Vortex, it's Provoke, Trulex, Matix, Sweezer, and everyone else is just kind of racking up right now. They're kind of getting their footing. Anyone who's below, I would say, 5th now down, it's getting tighter and tighter, but hey, having over 100 points, they're looking like they might just be A-okay for top 20. Close.
Yeah, and we're going to take a look at the top 20 here in a second, but you call it, Monster. You know, all these numbers are so close together. You know, a bad game right there or a pop-off game could just get you right up there, as we're seeing Void on the bubble, Nate on the bubble there with 85 points. You know, this is very important. You know, we're getting into the later half of all the matches here, so you're gonna have to keep up that aggression. As we're seeing, these are the players that are just behind. We're talking 5-6 points, 2 elims in the opening. All that could change here in the reboot round here, Monster.
And it is some of the best right there. I mean, we see Clement, we see Lazarus. These are players that, you know, have been beginning to staple their names. You see Blackie up there, Kinzel, Letwick. These are all notable players that just quite didn't make it through in those other weeks. They're not quite fighting their footing here come the midway of the tournament, but they're still very much in the running. These are all so very much in the contention for top 10, top 20.
Yeah, and Solo picked up that big victory royale, catapulted himself to the top 40.
Yeah, and I mean, he was facing off against Linear, right? Linear last week was 234th in week 2 when only the top 80 moved on. And now he's knocking at the door. He's 21st after just these set of games. Guys, this is that pivoting point now. This is the do or die moment for a lot of these players. What do they need to do to cement that top 20 placement? Because right now, for everyone just on the edge of top 20, it's still very possible. One 53-point game could make a world of difference.
If you ask me, I mean, honestly, you got to pull a coolest carrot. You got to pull your best games. You got to pull your consistent games. You got to show that you're good for a reason. I think Carrot, just last week, having a near top 100 finish shows that it's very clear that he's up there with the best of the best. And if you can't be a clear player in the pack, then you're probably going to get left behind.
Well, gentlemen, it is time to get into the next game of EU. We draw closer to its conclusion. Take us in.
All right, we're jumping in with another game here now. Things are already kicking off in this lobby here. You can see the battle bus is touched down. The reboot round is underway. And now 86 players are left here, Sancho West. We're in the grotto, the first of which we're seeing today as far as our highlights go.
And it is. Look at that already. About so many people already fell right away, and we're just getting in here. I mean, I think we're gonna see the aggression step up here. We're gonna see like players like Jinna here with 8 points, gonna be maybe the spoilers, you know, ruining a lot of run as the Elam feed is lighting up here, Monster. So this is what I'm expecting the rest of the reboot round to go to, with some big time early fights, as a lot of people scrambling for those early Elims, because you said so early yourself earlier, is that these Elims are the ones that you want because there's not a lot of like factors that are out of your control. You could kind of control these fights and let your skill be the prowess and get you those points.
Not only that, you can manage your games as well. Remember, you can definitely toss a few up in the air. I think the kind of the best of the best that we saw from week 2, Scully played 7 games, all of them for endgame, and he made endgames all the way through and still finished top 20 off of placement points alone. So it's not that you have to squeeze in W key games, it's that you can. Like, you literally can. Why not optimize and then still play for your placements all the way through? So see how players decide to put their play styles to use and play to their strengths now, as JNA is going to get taken out right there. He tries to kind of play a strength play right there, but Ali War is going to barely get out of that one. I mean, that's as close as it get. He only has 6 HP coming out of that one.
As close as it can get, and Dynamic is going close as they can get with that minigun. 100 bullets just going in, rat-a-tatting it all the way through, but he does get hit from that backside a little bit. He's going to have to retreat back into the natural cover of Pleasant Park. And a rocket says, "Hello, I'm not done with you, sir. I would like to meet you, introduce you to my 4-point bag here," as Dynamic doing his best to not get captured. And ooh, what a nice recovery right there. Being able to flick that shot with a flick of the wrist. But his job is not done yet, as more people are sniffing around. And he does have someone weak right above him there, Monster.
I mean, more importantly, he recognized that, hold up, someone had a heavy, someone had an RPG. These wasn't the same player, right? All of a sudden now there's so many factors there. We're going to go to the other side of the map. We're going to hop on over with Hex here, down at the Misty Meadow. Let's see what he's going to be able to pull together here now. He's trying to be very sneaky here. You know, there's a player up on the big mountain. Doesn't want to get the focus of that guy. Not at all. But if he can get the cheeky kind of middle low ground guy here, that's going to be a big kind of opener for him. As I think Height has already left the focus. Okay, Hex now decides not to. Decides to just wait it out. This player looks like he's going to be leaning in towards him. And this is going to be another one of those cheeky kind of tactical ambushes we see set up. Let's see. Zenit, we saw a lot of in the course of the weeks coming up. The shotguns are going to come out, and yes, Hex is going to win the trade.
I mean, what are you going to do, right? I mean, you got to just be, I guess, you know, you got to have that third eye about it. You know, you got to figure out maybe someone's behind it, but that's a tough play to read. But no doubt Andy knows that Panda is on the back foot. He's going to be able to read him really well. Andy doing really well. 33 points. He's going to need that pop-off game. I wanted to point out during the break, while we're talking about standings, is like Zeke brought it up. literally one game you could pop off and get 50 points. I mean, we're talking, 33 points for Victory Royale, about 4 or 5 elims, and boom, you're right back in it. So the reboot round has so much room for opportunity for a lot of these players like JNNA that had 8 points, like Andy here that we're seeing here at Holly, to just get themselves right back in. I mean, we already saw the best solo player, Mystery Man, by the way, who was able to vault himself up a little bit higher, as well as Linear getting himself on the cusp of getting in there, as Panda tried to get on the cusp on that 50-50, was able to get read perfectly by 80.
I absolutely agree. All you have to do is kind of wind up that wrecking ball and throw it right through the builds, quite literally. If you can build that destruction, that's the one swing that'll, kind of pull your points to where they need to be. Here's a fight, though, a 3-way battle. Pericle, who's on height right now, is getting pushed by Job now. Jabbo's right on top of him. He's looking to kind of take this into his own hands, not allow the fight to kind of drag on. Instead, he wants what looks like both of these elims right now. It's the Dirty Docks. A lot of action in the Dirty Docks, more so than I think we've seen throughout any of the highlighting weeks. This is kind of interesting to me, just seeing things kind of switch up. I hear the minigun chopping up now, Sancho. This could be a major threat.
Major threat, and the major threat to Job is that he's really lacking on a kind of like combative resources here. Not a lot of ammo, but he does get a lot of HP. The other shots ring out from below. They know, like, hey, something's happening up there. My time to shine and step right in. As Job is going to have to retreat a little bit to his box. Doesn't have a lot of builds here. He's going to have to disengage and give up. He had that nice opportunity, Monster. Got his opponent down to whites, but I think it's just a matter of resources. Realizing, hey, I don't have a lot of builds to go up against that spray.
Hey, but respect the movement to sneak out of there when the edit comes through, playing his camera angle, and it's going to work off as he backs up to his own builds and then finds Aimsons, and now he has the material that he needed, at least what was generated from that fight. More coming out as far as the minis go, too, and it's going to be a shotgun upgrade. So, Jobify is all of a sudden, I guess, kind of retreating here now, realizing he almost threw his entire run there, as Pericle was the one that he was fighting originally off on height there. He got the best of him. Now Job is just kind of hanging out. Jabbo's like, you know what? I think I'm going to skate out of here. I think I'm just going to chill. See what happens.
Man. Hey, I got my 4 points. I'm out of here. And that's what you got to do sometimes. Those are the kind of runs that look really well. But I'm noticing there's so many more third-party, fourth-party, fifth-parties all coming down right here, Monster, as we just moving on from different parts of the map. 30 Docks, third party. Here, another one. Now we have 4 players stacked up against each other. So I'm thinking that all these players right now, I'm in the 40, 50 points. They're looking for those easy elims. And no doubt you get them in the third and fourth parties, but they still have to be careful because, like you mentioned before, Job was going for that fight and almost ruined his run. So it's going to be interesting to see like where the rest of the lobby, how they perform here. As we look at this, 56 people alive in this match.
You can just kind of tell who our week 2 players were as well, just from the kind of effectiveness at which they play, the way they're kind of fearless in taking these battles. Carton is one of those week 2 players. Let's see. He's going to kind of back up now into his old builds. Not looking to take any crazy risk here, considering that these are his catacombs, and he has the kind of big pot to bounce back. He's trying to see if he can find an opportunity to breathe, to pop it, to get back in the game. And this is the benefit of having all this layer to work with. At the expense, though, the third person that's in this, it's like he's ping-ponging back and forth, and he's the ball, they're the paddles. As he continues to move back and forth, they're just changing focus, and now someone's finally going to jump in. They want a piece of this. They want to end it. There's the ramp boost into the box. Good edit out. And no, the other players now underneath, you can see how things are kind of happening here. The shots now all exchanging between one another. He's one of the paddles now. What's he gonna do? He can get back into it. There he finds the opportunity. It's Smeeth.
Smeeth, Cartoon is going in, gonna paddle more people, looking to go ahead. He does have Godspeed on the back foot with no shields. If Cartoon knew that, he kind of got a tag. He would no doubt push that, but the tennis match is good. Keep going, baby. His Cartoon is now with 52 points, and no doubt Godspeed's like, wait a minute, now there's only one person here, and I have the attention of the mythic drum shotgun, Midas's touch. I don't want it to touch me as I'm trying to keep my gold run going, as Cartoon is now seeing the pressure here and seeing the panic and Godspeed and Cartoon sends them right out of the server right there. But that is not a sound you want to hear this early in the game, considering that, hey, I don't have an opportunity to get a refarm. I don't have an opportunity to get away and disengage. I'm stuck here in this fight, Monster.
Against all odds, he made it work. We're back with Ariana SMG, who we saw on that third page, just kind of sneaking on in, being relevant. Oh my gosh, that shot is going to be the wake-up call for Ariana SMG here now, who's got to decide here. It's the reset time. It's the heal time. Both players, all three players actually on the map right now, have to get out of Risky. It's just a southern rotate right now. He has the option to go up. He's not going to take it. It's a good bait, though. Just jumping on the ramp right there sets him up. Or the bait will switch out. Okay, so now we know who he's fighting. It's Oserve Kinwin, who's on the other side of the wall right now, applying that axe pressure. We'll see. I got a feeling Ariana's going to set that ramp kind of pre-phase. Yep, just like that. But no, kind of misses it. He's going back through the build here. Just wants to bait him into this tunnel, though. He really wants to have this player walk into their zone, their world. Now, the angle, the one he's been looking for, the shotgun shot is met. It's only a 40 pop. Not enough to nearly warrant the victory. Not just yet. No, Ariana's going to fall here to Kinwin, who just had the bigger shots, the better shots, and the momentum in the battle.
Yeah, we're seeing there. I mean, we're seeing players now. We're talking about that constant layer of fighting, of getting people into build, baiting people into the fights, trying to have major piece control. And that's so important in fights because you could kind of surprise someone and get big hits, as Hex is doing his best. And now we have another storm fight brewing, but this is going to be a very interesting one, Monster, because the third party's here and they're trying to decide. That little orange arrow spinning around, figuring out, should I third party this? Should I gatekeep? But Hex ends that fight right away with some big shots with the shotgun. 83, Hex is a bubble player that we have to keep an eye out here, Monster, because he's just on the cusp of qualifying in the top 20. And now he has to deal with someone on the high ground here, and it looks like that's Gal sitting right there waiting as Cartoon is making his way towards that direction.
And before we let go of the topic of Hex, Hex is one of the only players from week one, the Invitational week, past the Opens, that today is like realistically putting up a good running. Someone who didn't make it a week two, because everyone else we're tuning in with, they just look like a clear cut above the rest because they were already in week two with the best of the best. And it's just kind of noticeable. So you got to give respect to Hex, who probably was like quite actually just on an off day, because today he's playing a lot better than any other performance. So we'll kind of keep an eye out on him as the story develops, the game develops. Now,
and you have to think about it, dude. It's like, you know, have that opportunity to watch people go in the top 80. You know, you kind of have to do a lot of homework on yourself. You gotta look in, you tell yourself and say, well, okay, what did I need to do to improve? And no doubt the adjustments you made. I remember you did a VOD review on Scope, and you talked about he made a change in his landing, and that was an opportunity to make him just go from the back of the pack all the way to the top.
Yup, the simple change from playing a point like Grotto to an island kind of area that was Scope kind of adjusting, and then the fights that he liked to took all of a sudden were in his favor. Wait a second, Elam's going to fall to Carton here. I'm assuming he must have did some damage, and some fall damage must have been rewarded. Lucky for him, somehow he manipulated his way to a free Elam right there. So
it's like
good on him.
Hey, $1.
Yeah, that or someone fell to the storm. It's one or the other right there. Didn't quite catch the feed, but still nice. You know, always nice to find that spare lucky dollar in the pocket, right? You never complain about it.
Goes a long way, dude. Those 4 points, those 4 quarters, dude. You never know. Could help out here, but we're seeing here Ale War on the little bit, needs a little bit of a pop-up game right here at 67. Has a pretty nice kit, has the pad, has the AR right there, the Meowscles, not Meowscles particularly, the weaker one version of it, but it's still a very dangerous one. We saw a lot of players utilizing his accuracy as well, and I think that's what Ale War is going to do. He's going to kind of sit back, take a lot of pot shots, storm tags, and things of that sort.
That's right. That heavy AR variant is very nice to get that big damage, that big pop, and my gosh.
Yeah, there it is.
Can you ignore the loot that's falling down the mountain right now? It's a gold rush literally down here for Alan Wars. He's the victor of all the loot right now, and yes, the lobby sees it. They want to pop some shots. They are jealous of all the gear right here.
Yeah.
It's a flopper I saw in there. I saw a normal kind of AR upgrade if he wants to take it.
The lottery, dude. You know what I mean? And then all went to him, and we saw that he built out a metal base right there. And what we've been seeing for those people at home, you could expand your game senses. Like once you get an elim, use up those extra resources. You're not going to be able to use them again at this point. So build a little bit of a bigger base, extend out, and then go back to the loot pile and max out. As Balasconi is going to try to max out this fight right now, doing really well. Again, one of the ones that no doubt has an opportunity to qualify, but still has to keep being consistent. And he consistently is being aggressive. And we saw King win a little bit earlier, and Balasconi eliminates them. But Balasconi, some great performance here. No doubt getting some attention here from Pericle.
Yeah, man, the beautiful cone right there to really start swinging things. Pericle being the extra factor in the fight, firing in. Gave him the confidence because we just tuned into a Balasconi last game. He wasn't not budging a single inch come to mid game, but you see when things go in his favor, he will jump on those opportunities not to play too timid all the time. There are some players out there that just won't take a risk at all, regardless of what in that mid game, but he took a risk and it paid off. It's going to be a big bounce back for him. Here's Void now. Zone kind of landing all around them here. Tohaj in the middle. Savid. Again, notable names that we haven't quite seen up there. Notable names that have, these fans quite literally rooting for them. The pressure on their shoulders so much more immense than, your traditional kind of player who's just trying to find their footing in the competitive scene, their name, and then, amongst the walls of the best. Lots to prove here for a lot of different people. A lot different stakes on the line.
And those stakes could be something that kind of trips you up. And we talked about the mentality of a pro who does have some sort of a following. Should I stream? Should I not stream? Should I focus entirely on the stream on content? Should I focus just on the game itself? It's a catch-22 situation. But as Savid right now and Tohai are doing their best to catch some elims, and Void trying to just get out of the, hey, don't look at me right now, I'm chilling. So he breaks the line of sight. Void is going to have this opportunity to kind of pick up on the person at the top side of here as the rest of the lobby is getting that person right here, and he's going to kind of chill here for a moment. But Void, knowing that no one's focusing on him, could have a free opportunity to kind of edit right then and there and gets Martine right there. Nice play. Void, understanding that no one's focused on him, gave him that flexibility to get that nice 4-point. As you can see, the rest of the lobby was actually focused on the high ground, this little section of the map here, Monster.
Void making sure that player cannot avoid the snare. Not at all there. He caught him with the cone, caught him with the wall. So good, so clean. We're going to queue up the like Giant right here.
Dang, you was caught him with the wall.
Thinking about it.
I like it. Hey, be free, dude. You gotta do your thing.
Yeah, I come with the punchlines, man. That's what they hire me for. Here's Q-Sick the Giant, though. He's chilling out. Hey, he's got his eyes on the player in front of him. It's Shark. He's got to be careful not to get bit here, though. Two players who are kind of vibing in metal bases. Oh, I'm going all the way here.
I mean, this is like that middle game right here. It's just where it's just the calm before the storm. Players gathering information, trying to say if the circle goes this way, I'm going to rotate this way. Very important here to see if you get those clean rotations. We saw early in the broadcast, trying to get those free rotations without any using kind of resources. The freebies often gets you tagged, so no doubt that's what they're doing. Is Hex getting himself closer and closer to qualifying the top 20. Has some options here. If he wants to take this monster, he could use that heavy sniper, get himself in the box. I think he's trying to figure out like who is going to involve themselves in my fight if I take this right now.
That's right. That heavy sniper, aka the problem solver, can jump you into those boxes and kind of seal the deal for you at any which moment you decide to yourself. Here's a beautiful scenery shot. These things are kind of hanging low right here. It's the airdrop landing in the middle, the treacherous airdrop. We only saw
chimichanga.
It's the meal coming down the launch pad. Do you want to go for it? Are you tempted? How hungry are you for this right now? Someone goes for it, though. You see that it was popped right there. A couple players do jump on it. And good old-fashioned fight is going to, of course, break out nearby it now as players know, hey, that guy has a launch pad. Someone's going to have to use it here. Hex is on the run right now. And again, keep an eye on Hex. He's one of the only players from the Week 1 track, again, that is kind of putting up the numbers right now. He's on this cusp. He's really in the conversation That's, to me, so impressive that players like literally managing to step up their game week after week. It's a clear example right here of someone who's found his confidence and his stride in the game. His death side is going to get dropped right there now. Look, Hex rolling, dude. Not even taking the launch pad. Just ground rotates. Clean, through builds. No fear.
And we're seeing that no fear is paying off. Not using the pad, able to get tags. Using that heavy sniper is a great way to catch someone who is on, you know, the back foot healing. As Hex now is kind of forcing his way through and is catching people really low, and see if Hex can kind of put it together. He has the flops, and now he is on the front side of the circle here. Big elim from Hex. Now he's getting himself closer and closer beyond the top 20 with 94 points, but that is where important, just because people use community pads, just because that is the normal play, the textbook play to make. Sometimes being patient pays off their monster.
Exactly right. All of a sudden, he's finding his swag right there. Really kind of cruising on through the lobby right now. Really seeing the pep in his step. Here's Cusick the Giant. We saw a little bit of him only once today. That kind of previous kind of hawk moment, keeping eyes on things. And now he's taking a storm fight, hunting this player down, not letting Savid go away. If you're a Savid fan, I'm sorry, but he's going to get taken out this lobby. Savid really having a struggle all the day so far to find himself here. Cusick making sure that he can change his odds. And now the Tac Attack is going to win against Ale War here, who had the legendary AR. And oh my gosh, there's so much upgrades now. Oh, it was just a normal AR, but it doesn't matter. The legendary pump, he didn't pull that out. That probably would have been the ace kind of trade right there if he could have just hit the shot. Cusick's on fire now all of a sudden. 3 elims in the mid game. Balasconi's on height. He's on a different kind of caliber now, too. I think I saw a grappler come out of him. So from quiet kind of game 4 into game 5 and 6 now, all of a sudden really ramping things up, getting more aggressive. These are the strides you got to take if you want to be in the top 20. There's Kaspersa, another player who's on the bubble now. Myoskio's kind of legendary mythic weapon and legendary pump here is great loadout. Leading out the rotate here. He's got to block that backside. Good job. He's going to turn around and immediately do that. Now look, Sancho, this is it. End game's happening. Top 15 left.
Top 15 and placement points are going to go ahead and stack up right there. Casper using Meowscles. I mentioned it before. It is that variant that you like to see, and he put some nice hits on someone coming out of the back line. Now he sees someone right below. He hears the axe swing. He's going to put some big time beams on the top, and he does see another person and grabs himself a rocket, a gold one in fact, and that's a big time elim right there. Can Casper go himself way all the way up? The friendly person just making everybody ghost right now, doing his best in this lobby as the Giant sitting at height with that big time factor. Let's see what happens here, Monster. There's so much things going to come into the factor, especially now that the elevation of the storm is pushing everybody higher and higher up.
Oh my gosh, here's Carton though, fighting in the zone. He does have a couple launch pads. There's more threats back here as well. He has to continue to do it. Yeah, Hex is going to fall, but not before still a good game placement-wise here. The launch pad gets put down. The flopper gets eaten. He's going up for height. He's going to find a nice, perfect little nook here to kind of squeeze on in, and there, he's in the zone now. He's shooting up the drum shotgun. He knows, or the drum AR, he knows there's a player nearby. More pressure from high ground. 5 players remaining. The metal base is occupied in front of him. Branching out now. This is it. Everyone's kind of bounced back. Everyone's healed up. Everyone is reloaded. This is like your second wind in endgame right now. The Gus is going to start kicking up here, Sancho. He's sneaking around. Can he find the big shot? There. The player's right underneath. Sneaks a couple shots in. And he's going to get exchanged with a big one, though. Loses all the shield now. And another reset.
Another reset, another opportunity. We've seen the dominance of the Midas drum gun on the low ground being a big factor, but it is Casper. You're taking a look right here. Has that strong power stance right now. The power position from Casper with that legendary rocket launcher is doing so much chaos down below. Cartoon's going to have to pick up some people on the backside, and he does. He eats some storm and comes right in and picks up that siphon. It's a top 4 situation, and Cartoon now goes down to Tohai. It is Tohai and Cusick. Actually, Casper goes down. It's a 1v1 situation between Tohai.
He's still in the game right now. And oh, the side shotgun shot, the reaction. He is going to catch that one right there. Still trying to pop this mini right now. Every single ounce counts here. He needs any bit of health he can have to kind of sustain right now. The Giant is going to win, though. He's going to hit the shot. Good job for Cusick.
Woo! What a crazy man. The giant with the giant plays, showing that the power position of being at height was the factor, having that power of the legendary weapons doing the deed and getting himself plus 90 for the day here at the reboot round.
Guys, what an awesome game. You know what's really interesting there? I looked at the stats. That was Tohaj there, who in week number 2 was 133rd, and he lost to Cusick, who was 137th. So again, a lot of these guys, man, this has been the story all day. All these players that have played super high continue to face off looking to hit top 20. And again, there's a lot of these guys that are just there on the bubble. 83 points was that cutoff we saw not that long ago. But yeah, I mean, an awesome way to end that round of games there. Of course, guys, super happy you guys were able to come on, get some games casted. If you're not following Monster D-Face and Sancho West, what are you doing with your life? You need to stop. You need to go do that. Monster's great content creator. He's great at teaching you stuff. Also, Sancho's amazing. He's basically a cooler version of me in just about every way. So please give them a follow. With that being said, though, Fortnite fam, we are going to go to a break. When we return, we'll have more games out of EU and see which top 20 will be moving on to tomorrow's grand finals. See you then. What's going on, Fortnite fam? Thank you guys so much for joining us for the tail end of Europe here in the FNCS Invitational. Joining us for the last set of games, we got Ball TW and Clay. Gentlemen, for a lot of these guys, this is it. Their final opportunity to get into, one, their last set of games, as queues are right around 30 minutes left, and two, if they're looking to break into top 20, now is the time. They need to make that stand right here, right now.
This is it. This is the final moments to see who is going to be joining us in the grand finals tomorrow. So, I mean, for a lot of these guys, so far they've been playing well, but last half an hour, which means that they have to put up right now, right here.
That's right. Let's take a look at the standings and see who holds that #1 spot as we head into the tail end. It is actually Fanta who has taken over that spot with 154 points. But look, the first place leader, Coolest Carrot's still there in 5th.
He is indeed still there, as we see X-Squeeze there in 2nd as well. Arcarino making their way up into 6th place. Ken Soul in 8th as well. Balasconi, we saw him on broadcast, 10th place there. Again, it's that top 20, what everybody's looking for. As we swap over to the next page, you'll see cut off right now 117 points. That is going to go over to Hex FN in 20th place.
And there's so many other names here. Nate, who was the reigning champion of FNCS duos, and then Clement up there, who is trying to join his former partner of Kaizen. He didn't even make it through into week 2, and he's now up at the top in the top 20 so far. But like you said, Clay, that point threshold right around that 117 spot is going to be key. That's what we're going to be looking at for people to actually edge their way over to, I don't know, beat the pace slightly higher. And OCU is around 149, so we'll see how EU fares.
And it's so close. We saw Captain win there. Despairsa in there as well. Trapern up there. 7. Josh Baffo in there. So many names from Europe that everybody knows and loves. Right on the outside. Right on that cusp of not making it into grand finals.
That's right. So many big names. For example, like Nyrox, right? And Dredda, where these players haven't broken in to that even top 40 range. That's how tight this competition is right now. And it's going to be even tighter tomorrow, where 80 have already gone through. They're waiting for these 20 to join them. So for a lot of these players, now is the time to show up.
Yeah, and at this stage right here, if you're not in that top 40 that we basically just looked at, if you're not within 20 points of that threshold that we've been talking about, it might be too late. If you have to do something, it has to be right now. It has to be a massive game, something on the scale of 10 elims and a win.
Well, we'll find out if another player can make this happen and contest that top 20, because we're getting ready to head into game.
We are in game on board here with J4Chu at Frenzy Farm. We see a lot of players already going down. Eliminated Shinken going down early as well. Not having the best of days. Like Ball said, he may need to have a pop-off after pop-off game, but it's really looking unlikely as there's only 25 minutes left on queues.
And that's a big number right there. Jachu has to win off-spawn fights like this, because otherwise this game wasted. And the time wasted too. He's gonna get really quick and dirty with this player trying to phase in the box, almost does, but then has to back off. But he's got him in the corner. A window on the backside, quick 133, and yes, it's Flippy who's out of the game. Jachu continues, and with 138 points, we saw him in the top 5 already before this. So things are looking very good for Jachu.
They are indeed. He's got another player over the top of him, but he is prepared for that. You see the box out is gonna buy him some time as we swap over here to Misty Meadows. We have Robabs there, and now back over to Frenzy. A4Chu in here trying to make something happen. Shots going through, not going to connect. There oozes a lot of HP. The pressure now going to get to him a little bit as we swap over to Pericle, and a wide shot coming back on through here. Scout putting the pressure down onto Jachu, as now able to pop some minis. Effective HP's back. The pressure is not there. He can reset this fight and decide the engagement he wants to have.
And one of the things to note here is that Jachu playing the main building to start things off. Scout must have been coming in from one of the other spots here at Frenzy Farms. Means that Scout didn't spend the time actually farming, actually getting the resources so that he could take that fight with confidence. And now we even see Jachu back off. Here's Robabs that we did see a sneak peek at Misty Meadows earlier on. He's on the offensive right onto Kaizen, actually.
Right onto him and eliminates him there. Very good play from Robabs. And just textbook. As we see Nate gonna take down Hawkers Robabs, though, has to worry about the pressure here from Slimy. Is the pressure coming in from above? He did get that mini off, did not get the other one off just in time. Still trying to get it off, and now a fight again has been reset. Robabs can go on the aggression. He can turn this defense into offense. All he needs is one shotgun shot to connect, and that's what he's going to move on.
Where is that shot going to be? For now, not found at all. And for these two players, Slimy with 84 points, Robabs, who barely missed out on qualifying in week 2. It's going to be an interesting fight for sure. Slimy backs down. There's a harpoon in play, though. He's got to be careful. Those walls, and they're freshly built. One shot to that harpoon, so dangerous proposition while Slimy is back against the wall while farming. And it's just going to be another disengage, and you can see, Clay, players playing very close to the chest with their materials in these early game fights.
They are indeed, and Robab says, you know what, I was going to disengage, but now you started pressuring me. I'm going back in. Slimy did get hit there, is effectively the same HP, but Robab wanting to get in, low amount of material, so he's going to have to make a play. Wall getting taken, 82 to the head. He's going in, shots going through, cone is his, and Slimy going down.
And that's the difference. Sometimes you back off, sometimes you give your opponent a little sigh of relief as you see, oh, he's going to disengage. He's not going to fight me here because he needs it. And then all of a sudden you pounce with the energy that you really need. Robabs makes Slimy right back to the lobby and puts himself in a good position moving forward. And Misty Meadows has plenty of time more to loot, says I think that whole engagement was done. But you see now Vortex up by the Pleasant Park Bridge. A nice shot to start things off. It was a beam onto Vortex, but on the other side, that also gives you a little sense of too much confidence as he comes down off the mountain, and a heavy snipe will do that to you.
And that's something you got to be careful with this in this season. If you're running into people, you know, they're going to have a heavy snipe if they're rotating out of the right spots, able to take advantage of it and hit the snipe. As we move over here, the Potra versus a Vesta Void. Now, we saw Void earlier have a decent run. As Edit's coming through, Potra going to get knocked into the box. Player editing over the top, Podicite going down in the meantime, but shots continuing to go through Potra, losing a lot of HP. Void looked like he didn't have control of this fight, did get it back, and then all of a sudden Potra takes it back and eliminates him.
And you said it looked like he did. The loadout looking very nice. We've already seen him get one heavy snipe. I'm wondering if there's going to be more, but looking down at the bottom right, not too many opportunities present itself, maybe over towards Orchard, but for now I think Vortex might be chilling for the meantime.
I agree. I think he may start to look more towards Orchard as you see that arrow encroaching a little bit on his territory. He's kind of established dominance right now with that snipe over this region, but continuing to push more north here for him to see how it ends up shaping out, what the zone is looking at into the later portions of the game. Does have a launch pad so he can play around that. Does have floppers as well. Vortex is setting up a really good game for himself.
Absolutely he is. And what you see him, he's kind of going back and forth in the same type of areas. He doesn't want to move too much in this first zone. He wants to kind of find opportunities to use that heavy snipe, use the epic AR that he has right now, while also starting to move towards positions of strength in the later zones. But for that first zone, this is the time where you can find opportunities like he is. He already found that heavy snipe, possibly another. For Vortex, this is important. He was sitting in third when we last left and might be over that threshold already for qualification, especially with a couple more elims. That'll definitely seal the deal for him. But he was so close in week 2. He was so close to already being in that field. A nice heavy snipe, again 152, and the launch pad pouncing right on top of him.
An instant, no hesitation. He's going into the box. Shots can come through here momentarily. Elliot going to come through. Vortex losing a lot, but he is not wavering. His confidence there. The wall going to block it. Loses a lot of HP. The shotgun shot going to hit for him. It's not enough. Snuffles takes him down with a quick cone over the top and turning that fight in his advantage.
And I'm wondering how quickly Snuffles was able to react to that. Yes, the quick box after the heavy snipe, but also the healing that he was able to get off because there was still shield on him. So it was a couple quick minis or maybe a fish. You've got to be careful of that sometimes when you have that aggressive stance against somebody after a big beam. But regardless, that's the end of Void. But I don't think it's the end of his journey. I think he might have done enough to get himself through the reboot round. And with 20 minutes to go on queues, he probably will get into another game as well.
More than likely will, as we swap over to Sweaty Sands, an edge of zone fight, kind of the EU specialty here today. It's going to go into box fights, maybe see a little bit build. The shot's going through. Larry going to get the cone. This player wasn't expecting it, and Tasty is bad going down. Larry capitalizing on that player's mistake there, and it only takes one to unfortunately get yourself eliminated.
And that is a huge sigh of relief for Larry. He's at 115 points right now. He's basically right on that cusp, right on the pace that we were talking about, Clay, when we looked at the standings last. And so not to lose that fight, I just said it was 20 minutes to go for Q's. This gives him all the more opportunity to get those placement points that he's already starting to get, too, have been given out so far. And with the aggressiveness of this lobby, as you saw Rifle finish off Kiku, Stormy Right's going to get involved, too. The aggressiveness of the lobby, clearly in full strength here in the last 20 minutes.
And I mentioned it earlier, it's never Stormy Right's position to not be in zone. His shots coming through. Rifle on the back foot, more damage being taken, and the ramp boost coming through. Rifle not able to fend off Stormy Right, who he put it in his name, honestly, a king of storm fights in EU.
And he takes out Rifle, too, who was one of the more solid players starting in week 1. And then leading into week 2, unfortunately not making it through. A couple of cash cut performances did well for him. Stormy Right, on the other hand, was 2 points away from qualification last week. But right now, not looking too good. Only that 50-ish points for him. We're looking at another fight right now. Potra gets in and gets out quickly with Magin's life. 2 elims for Potra. We saw the first one right on that Frey Islands, and he makes it work. But still a long way to go for Potra.
A long way to go. He's got zone nearby him, though, and there is a player also there. So this is a good game here for him. If he's continuing to move this momentum into the end game, into that mid game, we'll see come soon. See if he's going to be able to do it. He should be able to keep that momentum rolling. He's getting hyped. He's realizing, hey, I've got this. I got this. I practiced where we're good. As we see OKF in a box fight, shots coming through. Big Shield is going to be popped. Edit not going to connect. Now the edit's connecting on both players. Trying to sit in the cone. Nice edit on top of the cone. OKF trying to get the advantage back in his favor with very little builds. This is going to have to be very, very close quarters, and they're not going to be able to let each other separate it. Otherwise, OKF is going to lose this engagement.
You pointed out the 7 builds is definitely a reason why OKF is sitting in the box still, not trying to get too close, because too many wall replace attempts or too many extraneous builds will make it so that he has nothing to protect himself if the opponent goes on the offensive. But at the same time, he's got to get something done quick, because third parties can be coming. We're in second zone. There's the heavy snipe in the box again. Yes, he finishes it off. SETI goes right out, and OKF lives to see a little more in this game. And I have to point out there, the materials that he gained from that was not even that much. So both players on that same situation. Now OKF has to rotate up north even more with the little remaining mats that he had.
And speaking of little remaining mats, Nikov with 9 builds, now 4 builds remaining. He boxed up, popped these shields with 4 mats remaining. He's got someone right on his tail. I think he knows he's going to have to make a play. He sees him now. Shots going to come out that's going to try to break him down. Nikov, though, in a very sticky situation. He does have 1 RPG. He can make something happen with that impact weapon. But this is looking very, very dire for Nikov. Is that play actually going to choose to disengage? Oh, boat rockets coming on through. And sometimes you got to get creative here in the reboot round. You only got 1 more shot to make it in. Nikov really going to have to get creative here.
He is. I don't know if it's creative or losing hope. Because Nikov right now, he's got tools in his kit, and what he's going to do is so smart. The boat player, he knows that he had to come back through, but he's not low enough. There's still shield on him, and he has to make it now across the water, get close to him enough. Ooh, whoa, Nikov! That was ingenious. You talk about creativity. So smart from him to realize that the player will drop down under the water and make it impossible for him to really get the full box off that he needs after that RPG, and he's still following it up with a little bit more.
And that was discipline there, using the RPG at the perfect time. Nikov, absolutely insane game.
But I have to go back to the points that he had. He was only around 25 to start things off, so for somebody the caliber of Nikov, yes, he is somebody who could have those crazy, crazy games, multiple eliminations in the win. But at this point, he's almost 125 points away. That is literally 2 of those massive games in a row. And with the time as it is, I'm not seeing that this is really going to happen for him. And thinking back to his actual performances, he barely made it through the top 300. Right now, it seems like he might be on pace to do the same thing, but you can't live with those in the reboot round. It's top 20, and Zeke said he wants to see Cutthroat. Well, that is Cutthroat. Heartbreaking for Nikov.
Indeed, it is. As we take a wide shot to show you who's left in the lobby. Aimson, Stormy right there, boxed up right next to each other. You see Baby Mongrel there, Blackie BDS there, Erical right there in the middle of your screen as we hop back over. It does have the Brutus minigun, 46 points. So definitely within striking distance. He's going to have to make decisive plays as he's getting tagged up. He is trying to get in this player's box. He's got the heavy sniper. He's got the minigun. He can make this happen. If that player keeps shooting, he's going to get eliminated. The continued pressure. They don't know he's got a heavy sniper. As soon as he pulls that out, as soon as he makes his move, he could get aggressive. His shots coming through. That player trying to make something happen. Pericle going to be aggressive here. Brutus minigun coming out. He could put the pressure back down, but it's just not making the decision whether he wants to heal, whether he wants to take the fight. It's kind of a back and forth here for a minute. Now decides I'm taking the fight. 67 damage coming on off. He's following up with the minigun, and that's going to be the elimination that he needed to really get him back going in the favor of this game.
If you're wondering why players are so aggressive right now, it all has to come down to the timing on this game. Why players are taking these box fights that you don't normally see them take. You see them be a little bit more passive. It's because of the timing. It's because the score right now for Pericle, it needs to be a miracle. He's got to pull something out of the hat. And he does get that elimination. A little bit of a safe one on the side of this hill, but pretty much everybody trying to engage in the same type of thing. He's actually firing on Deceptos, who, if we think back to week 1, he placed 5th overall in that week. So this is a big name on the backside of this, and I'm not sure if he's actually in contention, but he's got him so low, Clay. One more shot will do it. He's trying to get the heels off, and I think he did just find the space to do just that.
And if you're Pericle, you're thinking, oh my god, he's one shot, and now Decepto's trying to make something happen. He had to try to fight that. But with the Brutus minigun, you just can't if you're not hitting all your shots. And Pericle putting work in this game. And this is the game that he needs. If he can keep this up, if he can keep this momentum going in, he is looking at a very big point game right now.
33 points available for the Victory Royale. And 4 points per elim. Remember that. Obviously, we'll get a portion of that as time goes on, as people fall. And we get closer and closer to those final moment situations. Looking at Cavado, he's at 94 points right now. This is definitely someone we expected to qualify all the way through, but clearly he's here in the reboot rounds. Playing okay so far, but with only the 2 games left, it's dire. And only 1 elimination, and I'm seeing a lot of passivity from him too. And this could be the final game for these guys. It is a little bit of a larger pool compared to week 2. But that still does not necessarily mean you will get in a final game. He's going to heavy snipe in the box, but no, he gets blocked out. Good flip back to make sure there's not going to be a counter edit. There's a launch pad here that both of these players can use now. I think he's going to opt to try to do that. Oh, nice shot on the Nikov mid-air on the backside of this. And yes, he goes to follow up on the launch pad. Boom, a short pad created off of that. So he's going to try to get on the loots. But instantly there's that minigun. Pericle is right there. Cavado right on top of Oplexium, and he's going to get a nice shot to start things off, but he's going to take a little bit of a moment to heal and breathe.
And that is going to be the indicator for Cavado that he could push this. He knows, hey, that player got tagged on up. Does not know exactly his HP right now as he's continuing to take a lot of damage, trying to go for the loot, trying to grab anything that he can. Really was trying to focus on that RPG, as you see, taking a lot of damage. Does have extra heals in his inventory to make things work for him, but just taking more and more damage over time, it's going to start to cut in to that inventory, and it becomes a war of attrition. Do you have more match? Do you have more HP in your inventory than these enemy players? And right now, Stormy Right looking like he's going to get a good setup on the side as a third party coming through. That's Cavado versus Pericle right there. The shots continuing up through the third party RPG going through. Actually, Oplexium going to go down there. Very good elimination from Stormy Right.
That it is, and oh my goodness, Cavado has had the hardest time to get in the zone. Yes, he got the elim onto Nikov out the air, but ever since then, it's just been the worst situation and nightmare unfolding for him. He does get himself a nice big metal base, and I think that might be the end, but then the minigun from Pericle revs right back up, and I think there's no more juice in the tank for Cavado. I think he might be down and out, especially with Stormy Right as well, adding insult to the fire.
And with where he is, all the players around him, continuing to put that pressure onto him. He's got to be running low on builds. As we move over here to Amos has got you as a heavy sniper coming in. That player desperate to make a shot. Shots coming on through, and Snuffles going down the pump into AR spray. Gonna be too much for him.
This is the thing with the aggressive plays. A lot of people are going to be watching you. The minigun's going to be watching you. Everything is going to be paying attention and trying to get you off. So that's kind of the risk you take, but at this point, you've got to take all the risks possible. Speaking of players who actually have a really, really good chance, is this one right here, 123 points for Amos has got you. And that could be the start of somewhere where he wants to be. We have Shadow Henchman, who I believe is Rojo, second place player at World Cup with Wolfies, if I got my EU name switches correctly.
There's a lot of them to get correct, and I believe you are there with that. As we see Stormy Wright looking for this snipe. He's looking for a cheeky little shot, a snipe into AR spray, maybe on someone not paying attention there. There's a lot of action happening underneath this high ground area. As Zone is starting to move in, he's actually in a really good spot. If Zone pulls to the south at any direction, east or west, he's got a really good rotation. He's got the launch pad. And the thing with these lower player lobbies is he's going to be able to sit here for a little bit longer than he normally would. A late rotate going to be a little bit more viable.
But they are starting to accrue placement points, and the late rotates might be doing just that on top of it. So potential for that strat to really work out, especially depending on the amount of players who are going to play this out right. Stormy with a nice pick off on a Joey Jenner. That's 5 for him, starting things off. And Cavado has actually gotten away alive. A max distance zone pull, I believe, for him as we see the players launching to the other side. Yeah, Blackie going over to that side as well. So this is what happens with the really, really good and high point lobbies. Players try to get as far ahead of zone as possible. So late rotates tend to work out because there's not actually that many people on the backside. We've seen a lot of different players take advantage of that sort of metagame unfolding behind. Meanwhile, though, as players start to position in that 6 zone as the moving zones do begin, Pericle goes way back and stays for such a long time with the Brutus's minigun.
And he's able to pick up Sky's grappler. Such a huge pickup here for him. And this is what we talked about. Late rotates being so effective. He saves mats. And now moving into zone. No one looked at him at all. It was a relatively free rotation. And now he's got the minigun that causes havoc down all the low ground. Does have 3 eliminations like we talked about. This is the game he needs. He needs to pop off here. He needs to get as many elims as he can. Because of the lower player lobby, it's going to be that much harder to get that many more eliminations.
You got to be so careful with all the sounds around you. You heard the heavy snipe, and he was wondering where did that come from, but thankfully he's okay. Oh no! Unfortunately messed up that short pad, but it's all okay as long as he doesn't get beamed out the sky. That's the reason he wanted to go for it. And yes, he doesn't take any damage at all because it seemed like most of the people were up in the sky with him, and he takes out another one on the backside. That's where those late rotates start to be really dangerous. Another grapple up, but he opts not to actually play for high ground just in case that player's paying attention.
It was almost a miss, but he barely able to catch himself as the minigun showing work. As Amir gonna go down there to it. Now sitting on 5 eliminations. He's got 73 points. This is the game where he's gonna start pushing that momentum. This is where he could get back into that top 20. You know, we talked about Cutthroat. It's going to be heartbreaking, but Pericle says, you know what? I'm gonna make my own destiny here. I'm gonna make the play for high ground, and he does end up getting it.
Finally has it a couple grapplers later. Minigun now can pressure all the way down, and this is going to be a very bad sound for a lot of different players, as now the minigun on height makes it so they'll pressure everybody with basically nothing in return. Pericle now putting that down. 8 players remaining. They're all starting to play so careful. They want to get up towards those final moments. Blackie picks one up, who was in towards the top 20, so potential here for him to really solidify it until he goes down. But he made it at least to that top 7, so plenty of points. RPG's now coming in. Pericle needs to be a little bit more careful, but a big pump to start things off in the player aggressing.
A big pump indeed. He's got the minigun to follow up. Jachu gonna go down. We saw him early, made it all the way to the end, getting those placement points, but not able to secure the victory royale. But Pericle looking on form here. The minigun on high ground, we've seen it time and time and again, just using it so effectively. does have a decent amount of builds remaining. Shots coming on through, is getting dropped down. All of a sudden, he's lost high ground. Reminder, he's got the grappler taking a lot of damage, and he goes down. Linear taking him down as Jans versus Linear in this fight. It does not look too good for him as he's got the drum gun on high ground.
And Linear has 125 points. Winning this game would mean so much. That's definitely a lot more. Plus the elim, that'll put him at least 10 points up. We'll see, though. If you can actually play it out, it's a lot slower than you think, but he's only got one build left. There's still wood on the other player. The drum gun going to shred right through that. A big pump to start things off from the other side, though, and they're playing so well, both sides on this one. Takes the time to get the heal. There's a little bit of tags to return things off, but all the way up on the high ground, and then he drops down. Big pumps from the other side, and it's going to be Jans who takes out Linear. And 84 points for Jans, but he just stopped. Basically, the potential for Linear is fun to actually qualify through with that one game, with that one elim.
And I thought the drum gun was going to be the catalyst there for Linear, but it was not. It was his downfall. Wow. Wow. What a game.
That's right, guys. Jans there was actually in 389th place with 199 points back in week number 1. So taking
I don't hear
Linear
Zeke. I'm not
there.
sure if he's still there, but Clay, we can continue the conversation regardless because so much happened in that last one. James, who was in 389th place after week 1, didn't make it through. Now has the potential, Clay, to actually boost himself up and qualify through with another good game. It's potential.
He does indeed, as well as Pericle, right? They both had phenomenal games there into getting into that 80, 70 threshold. We saw it was about, 150 to 157 points. Was looking for the higher region. So another great game. There's still time on the queues, right? He's more than likely got into a game. They need to make this final game perfect for them to get in the top 20.
That they do, and whether or not there's time enough for it, because as we look at the clock, there's 1 minute left on the queues, possible potential for a little bit more, but you never know with the queues of 500 players. It's not like a normal cash cup, but some other people to note in that game was players like Nate went down in probably around 23rd, duos finalist, duos champion from that, and also some other guys too who we saw on the standings last time we checked, like Blackie, for example. He made it up towards the top 7 in that one. And that's basically probably enough to push them through, but those are people I'm going to be looking out for in the future in the next games.
And you got to mention, Shinken was there early on, but did go down very early. Nikoff, unfortunately, falling there before those placement points started to really ramp up. But where are they going to be in that leaderboard? Where is it going to shake up to be for them? If they're able to get in the last game, maybe make something happen, maybe have the run of their life, but it's getting, like you said, queues are closed. It's time. That's it. If they didn't get in the queue, they're just going to be waiting.
Yep. And to think also, now that we've basically seen the penultimate game, I guess I could say, Clay, is that we get to realize the situation that we're going to have in grand finals, the players who we might be missing. For example, Nikoff, who was only at 30-some points in that last one. Yes, he had a couple of amazing moments in that game, but with 30 points, we did see him towards the end. He got beamed out the sky from one of our friends, but man, oh man, is it going to be interesting to see grand finals without somebody of the caliber like Nikoff.
Going to be interesting indeed, and we mentioned it a couple of times, right? Heartbreaking, cutthroat, and this is the reboot round, right? If you're watching and your favorite player's not doing well and you're rooting for them, it could not happen, and that's going to be even more prowess in the grand finals. If they don't make it, if they land at somebody else's spot as well, it's going to be like, okay, a bit of relief. Like for example, if Nikoff doesn't make it and he lands at my spot, it's going to be like, oh, Nikoff didn't make it. I got my spot clear to take it. And maybe that propels another player. So there's so many ramifications. The butterfly effect is so big right now.
That's huge. Yeah, that's a really, really good point about some things that will actually influence the other players who are sitting there waiting, watching, and listening to what's going on in the reboot round right now, because it will determine a lot. But the other thing, too, is I know Sancho was excited about the prospect of somebody coming from the reboot round and having a really, really high performance the next day. You have to wonder if some of these guys will be more prepared, basically, for the next time, or kind of less prepared, because it's a different style when we get to the grand finals.
It is indeed, and we are hopping into the next game at the agency. It's going to be crazy with Benji 4K. representing, you know, the love that he has for Benji, maybe. But as shots coming through, we do see nice damage there, catching the player through an awkward angle. This player trying to make it out, but he's dropped in a box with an unknown player. A lot of damage going off. He's actually got the advantage in this fight, but choosing to fight like he doesn't in an awkward spot. We'll see if he's going to be able to get out of it, as Ramp's not going his way. Build's not going his way. He's got 2 builds remaining. He's going to have to make an offensive play here. Trying to go in. Shotgun shot's going to miss. He doesn't get the wall. 2 builds remaining still for him, as that player trying to make the stair flip and not going to be able to, as Benji 4K going to get the elimination.
That was a nice shot there, and realization that that stairs was not actually fully built. That's what happens when you see it on the screen when it's yellow. That means you can actually shoot through still. It's not actually a solid piece. So Benji 4K taking advantage of that. But is it going to be enough? Right now we're looking at what looks to be another aggressive game, and I'm actually looking at a couple different people in the feed right now because that gives us insights. Seti, who we saw go down another game. Oh, hold on a sec, Benji. Where are these people right next to him, not playing aggressively at all? He finds another one sitting right there, and then now another player right inside of this, 52 to start things off. And then another one, 37. This player really not getting much done on the backside of this, stuck against the wall in the vents.
He's not doing much, but he's now getting pressure off right when Benji needed to heal. The shot's continuing to do, pressure coming down. He's trying to get down. There's only so much more he can go. These builds are going to start to not be his. This player dropping on it, and it coming through. And he did what couldn't be done to him, taking out Miro there.
That's beautiful. And there's still more players up in this agency. There's still so many people here, Benji. With 4 limbs to start things off, it could be the sign of a crazy, crazy game. You see Ariana go down to the feed as well. Somebody was playing so fantastically. And I think there's one more for Benji to find in this game. Yes, it's Daisy. Who has the vault card? Who has the drum gun? Is a big question. We look now over towards the Shark, another very important POI that has ramifications for the entire lobby, not just the players that we watch. Peak with 15 points, probably no hope, but other players might be here too who are still holding on.
They are, as Peak with 15 points right now, is not, I don't think, comfortably can say is not in contention right now. He's looking to either play spoiler to everyone in his game or just go out on top. Winning a game would be so big for him. And shots coming on through. Snuffles not paying attention to that edit, and Pete gonna get the elimination there. Very, very good for him. But I want to point out, the vault is open, but we don't see Sky's loot on any of the 2 players right here. So it must be the 3rd player, or someone took it and ran away.
That's always a potential at the Shark. So many different things could happen with that vault key and the grappler, with the mobility aspect that it gets. And something that people do is wait here for that key. Wait here for the potential. Robabs, I think, might be the player as they fight on the outskirts there. Maybe he's chasing down that card. Yes, he is. Exactly what I was about to mention. Robabs chases it down, and he gets Sky's AR. He gets the grappler. And did the card fall all the way down? I'm wondering if now he wants to go back for that guaranteed launch pad and a lot of good loot out of the vaults. But if he does, there's still 2 players there, Clay, waiting for him to return. And I think no card found. So he's not even bothering, not even going to bother going back and looking for exactly where that player left it.
Not indeed, and I'm going to point out big names in the feed. Bravado and Stompy getting eliminations. Don't know where they are point threshold-wise, but definitely looking to capitalize. We do see Dezeno go down, who was at the agency, so another player there. Robabs, though, did get 1 elimination, has already gotten the first placement threshold. Right, so only 32 possible points there for the Victory Royale. Needs a perfect game. He needs to get 10, 11 eliminations to really make this ride happen. And that's why you see him being aggressive. He says, you know what? These people are fighting. There are 3 different people in this build fight and box fight, and he is going in.
That he is. And again, remember, they need to be aggressive. We just dropped 30 players in an instant off of this first zone, off of the early game spawn fights alone, before basically even that bus or the first zone has been revealed. Essentially, Robabs will find it. That's Ro who goes down, and we've seen him a little bit over the course of all of this. Again, in the feed, we're looking for the big names that we're paying attention to. Balasconi went down. And with this build fight here that Robabs actually joined in on, there's still 2 players involved in it, and they're just trying to be as quiet as possible because they know Robabs is hunting. They know it's an aggressive player in their midst.
Indeed, they hear the grappler and they're like, ooh, you know what? I'm just going to sit, I'm going to hide, I'm going to wait for an opportunity to surprise. You hear Bala say, uh-oh, and uh-oh, indeed, that could have been very, very bad here for Jakku, as the surprise would have taken a lot of damage off. Now, he does have that epic pump shotgun. As you see the player creeping up behind, they are setting up an ambush here, and he is caught between two players that I think know exactly where he is.
Cute. Clown music going around because there's literally 3 people doing the same thing, trying to sneak up on each other. Here, Joku's going to get a big pump to start things off. 148 now is the time for the other third party to actually join the fray, but no, he doesn't. No AR shots heard at all. And he goes way up, backs off into brick. Joku now trying to get in. Yes, he's so low. He's just got to finish it off. 1 tag, but then there's a third party, another actual third party. He will finish things off and actually get the credit for that. But again, another player joining, and that other person who was hiding on the bridge is still lurking. He's actually going to disengage, I think, entirely from this. So it's now just Joku against Rexu.
With shots coming through, Rexu loses a lot of HP, but we are going to swap over to give you a POV here of Linear, who did do very well, is right on that cusp. Right, it was about 150 or so. Didn't get to take a look at the standings in between, but is on the cusp, is right there. What he needs is this lobby to continue to be eliminated so he gets those easy placement points. Doesn't have to work, doesn't have to contest sword. He does already have 1 eliminations, is in a good spot as well. Everything's lining up perfect here for him. He just needs to hit the home run.
That he does, and we basically just saw him miss out on that home run potential. You got to be so careful here. If your linear is fun, there's 2 routes to this. You can play as passive as possible for the qualification, or you can hunt for 2 or 3 eliminations to make this happen. And it is actually going to be Stormy Right. 2 players who were in that last game, not quite making it through just yet. This is the clincher. This is the potential. And he's going to take a rotation in the zone behind him. 2 reasons for that. He could either be chasing this actual fight, or he could be trying to make sure that there's space between him and Stormy Right so that they don't have a fight. But if he did that, I would have expected him to actually loop back up further north. Instead, he goes right behind him on the same path.
This is so good for him. He's got the flopper, so he's not too worried about that. He knows this player is going to be on the edge of zone somewhere, maybe looking back in. This is going to be a great opportunity here for him to capitalize on an elimination. If he's able to get that, he's going to go up to 135 points. But what I'm worried about is that it is Stormy Right, and Stormy Right is not afraid to push back into zone like he is doing now as Linear, now dropping him on down, shots going through 110 to the face. That's going to be more damage going off. Linear just putting Stormy Right down right now as he's going to get the elimination.
And you're right, Clay. That was such a good player going up against another clearly very, very strong player. And he just immediately gets him right out of there. To start things off, the big tack shotgun shot to the face, and then another one with the Tfue Classic placing the floor right under, keeping it safe. He didn't trade any damage at all, so Linear's Fun just got another 4 points off of somebody who was one of the stronger players in this reboot rounds. Now, I believe Stormy Right's round is done. Stormy Right is not going to be making it through the reboot because he made that aggressive play onto Linear's Fun. Maybe potential, I know we're past queue times, but potentially, since we're watching the replays, potential for getting back into one more game, but I highly doubt that considering what I'm seeing out of this game. What I'm seeing is repeat from what we just saw, names over and over.
And we're seeing Clovado go down. That's another big name going down. We're also seeing Robabs be very aggressive and continuing to pressure with the grappler. Going in, player right on top of him. And it almost got the elimination. Is now going to get the wall. Shot's going to come through. That's going to crack the shield. He's got the pressure to go. Trying to use that mythic AR to his advantage. Edit's coming through. This player dropping down. Continued pressure here from Robabs. He's not letting this player get an inch. He is right on top of a wall, getting taken. Piece control looks amazing here. But Robab's not able to find that last shot that he needs. This continued pressure, though, going to keep that player on edge. He's got the grappler, so that height means nothing. The layers he put is nothing. He's hopping in. This player trying to go down and around and up and through. Back in the house he goes. Robab's trying to find him, but this player leading him on a goose chase.
And can he find the egg? Yes, he gets the wall. White damage now, and it's Bella EU who was getting away from him. Definitely showed off the skill in that escape, the agility back around, but Robab's showing off aggressiveness. He's showing off the fact that he's not letting this slip by him. 83 points right now, potential still for him to qualify, and he finds another one going for a drop. Almost gets the wall, doesn't quite. And now the other player backs off again, all the way to the other side. It's another wild goose chase, and it's on to Scrib GG. But he makes it away, so Robabs backs off and just goes for the drop.
Makes it away temporarily. Knowing what we've seen with Robabs, he can continue to push this. He's got the grappler. Doesn't matter where you are. He's going aggressive. Is going to pick up an RPG. Decides against picking it up at all. Could have used that into his advantage. Send an RPG. Grapple on in. He's going back to these old builds where he knows there's a player. He's going to find Fury there as we swap away Stompy in a fight here with RQ. Is Stompy trying to make something happen. Is in the same situation as well. One pop-off game. Would need an amazing, amazing performance to make it happen, to get into that top 20, as he does have high ground here. Continue pressure onto this player, RQ, trying to make something happen. Nice wall there to prevent the edit out. Edit's coming through. Stompy going to get high ground yet again. This player continuing to put layers, to put boxes. Ramp boost going in. Stompy not afraid to take the fight, but the other players at either 15 HP on Stompy. He's got the wall, but who's shot going to connect? 42 damage there for Stompy. He gets the elimination, the spray through, connects for him.
And Clay, there's now two players who will definitely be playing so aggressively for these elims. Robabs and Stompy. And we also saw Linear is fun in this as well. So with 30 players left in this game, Robab's still keying. Still getting right on top of another one. With only 30 players left, there's probably not even enough actual food here for everybody to eat to get to that reboot, or to get to the grand finals in the top 20 of this round. Robabs, though, now on the defensive as he got cracked a little bit. And this player trying to get in the box, trying to phase in. He is going to back off. Gets him in the box, though, and I'm wondering if he's actually let him in on purpose. But no, he backs out. Oh, the harpoon in the... And he does pay for that, but still makes it away, even though he was right in that box. Another attempt. Here it is. Yes, he connects with AR shot after AR shot out of Sky's assault rifle. And to make it 4, he's carrying all the heals he needs to get right back into another fighting position. And also fighting chances for top 20, which sits right now around 144, 140 points. So with the amount of elims possible for Stompy and Robabs and the field that they're going up against, all players trying to do exactly the same thing. Who is it out of this lobby, Clay, that's actually going to make it to the grand finals?
I gotta put my money on Stompy. He's the highest points right now, 92. Let's see if he's gonna be able to do so. I want to point out that harpoon play was amazing. The confidence to go in. You gotta be careful. Stompy is playing this out. He's going in. Shots coming through. This player caught looking, and Tiago gonna go down. Stompy perfectly executing that play.
Wonderful job. 96 points at 3 elims now. There's still potential here for any of these guys who are at that range to make it in, but it has to be massive. I cannot understate that. It has to be huge. Robabs has a little bit more just in terms of, game theory, because he has that grappler, so he can get on top of people. He can fight the fights that he wants to. He can disengage if he needs to. So a little bit of safety there for Robabs. 28 players left now. Basically everybody trying to do the same thing. For Linear, it's a little different. He just needs basically one more elim, or possibly getting towards that, I don't know, top 20 threshold to get the points that he needs to possibly get to the qualification range. But that could change. So everything important.
Everything important indeed is he's going to get beamed from behind by Jinx. His run is over. He's down. I don't think he's going to make it as Jinx going in. The drum gun going to be used. Linear, this fun is no longer having any fun in this lobby right now as Jinx continuing to put the pressure down.
Yeah, and that was somebody that we watched all day. Such a solid performance throughout all the games that we saw out of him. So I definitely got to give him props. But so far, it looks like his run might be done for, unfortunately. Jinx is going up against Bad Sniper, one of the players that we definitely were looking out for in this reboot round, but we haven't seen much of him at all. Joku was in that last one. Scrib, who we saw a little bit in week 2. Based on a really solid week 1 performance, he's going for the placement that I think Linear should have switched gears to, because at 124 points right now, just sitting in a nice position, he might just be able to sit here and qualify.
See, as he does start to make the rotate and did look towards Froggy, maybe he could get a little aggressive. You see the base up, so decides completely against that. He says, you know what? I am hard playing for placement. I want every possible point. I want that victory royale. And if he does end up pulling it off, that will more than likely secure him a qualification. I believe Bad Sniper, we were talking about, was sitting pretty up there in points, and I believe plus 100 points there. So another player playing for placement as you move over to Jachu, who, again, does have an opportunity. He's doing very well this game. I can't exactly remember how many points. We'll swap over 171, so definitely within range, but what more can he cause chaos on this lobby?
Yeah, he's fine. He's basically now playing to win the reboot round, but nothing really comes out of that. There's no seeding, there's no prizing this weekend. All is about qualifying, so you could potentially put an end to the opportunity that Robabs has, that Stompy has. I'm definitely wondering whether either of those two players are still up and have the potential to continue forward, and who else is going forward, because Jachu definitely qualified at this point.
He is just sitting here waiting to play spoiler. He only has 5 AR ammo, though, so not going to be able to cause that much more havoc on the lobby. He definitely needs to wait. As we see Pete taking a very egregious peek there. His Jim's just going to beam Montclair there in the back. Another player who would need, I think, almost every elimination in this lobby and the victory out to make something happen, but he's not giving up. He's still putting in the work. He's still looking for elimination. What concerns me, though, as well, is his lack of AR ammo.
Yeah, that's actually going to be an issue for a lot of different people. You pointed it out earlier. For Jachu, 44, but he does have the SMG. If anything comes close, he can actually put some pressure down, but those opportunities that on players' edge zone that he isn't really looking for, it looks like, for now. But he could switch that very quickly. He doesn't have the ammunition to really work with that. Now looking at all the different sides, the corners, the edge side of the zone, because it's 5th and it pops north, actually towards Scrib, towards where Froggy is. So that's potential there for those guys, because 5th zone in this game could be huge because of reasons like this. That launch pad, for example, a lot of people are going to be doing that, but there's not actually that many players in this lobby. So yes, Cactus gets 1, but he still has to make actually the risk to take that. I think anybody who launches here without a short launch is in big trouble.
They are indeed, especially just because it's the lighter player. It's so easy to be seen out of the air. You got Larry in there as well that could have taken an opportunity to get the elimination there. As you see Larry trying to make a short launch pad. Jim's making a short launch pad as well. Everybody taking the advice, either making the rotation on foot or choosing just to use that short launch pad is going to be very beneficial for him, as that launch pad actually going to be a high one. We'll see if they're going to be able to make it as Slimy going back into the zone to take it. Desperately needed to recycle the community launch pad. But like you talked about, it's going to get beamed out of the air. Shots going to go through. We see Robab. We see Bad Sniper there as well.
And Bad Sniper did make it down. Actually, pretty much all those players who took that high launch did make it in towards the ends. I'm going to scoot over with Bad Sniper himself. 108 points. This is a World Cup qualifier. I believe in both duos and solos. 108 points right now. He is definitely in striking range, Clay, because what was 144 points for the top 20 moments ago could have gone a little bit more, but with a victory royale and, you know, maybe 8 to 12 elims, he could definitely get into that striking range, although he's already accrued a lot of different placement points, so I don't know. He needs to strike right now.
He does, indeed. He has to just go aggressive, and it's kind of an unconventional playstyle for a lot of these players. Going aggressive in the 5th zone into 6th and 7th, you're losing elimination point, elimination point, elimination point. Every second that you are not aggressive, there were 20 people. Now there's 17. That's 12 points gone from the lobby.
And it might not be the most stacked game you've ever seen, but so much on the line for people like Bad Sniper, for people like Robabs, all trying to fight for this. Jachu goes down, so one of those players who definitely already qualified to the hands of Slimy, who's potentially still on the verge of making it through. Where will this lead us? Where is Robabs? Where is Stompy? Is Stompy down and out? Because I didn't see his name in the feed just yet. That's a big question on my mind. Another launch pad nearby. Bad Sniper looking for it. That's going to be huge if he can actually follow that up. There's another player in his box. He's playing so careful, though, and realizing exactly that, but going to go in, which I definitely have to question a little bit, but then he puts it right to me as I ask the question, is this going to be a good play? He says, yes, absolutely, because I need every single one of these elims, and he didn't actually find the launch pad. He's on foot.
Again, every single elim is what is mattering at this point. 15 total players lobby, 14, 13. It's going to keep going down. As Bad Sniper going to find an elimination there on to Slimy, who is trying to be a loot goblin. And now that's more and more points going over. He's getting more and more loot. You see, just sitting on a absolute stockpile. Going to pick up the floppers as well. He's got the ability to do it, but he has to keep the aggression up. He has to keep going. Robab's in here as well. Sniper in here as well. Do not see Stoppy in this game.
I don't see him. I don't think he is here. Froggy's going to take the high ground. I'm wondering how many points he has, because at the same time, I'm still looking. Did Bad Sniper make it out? Yes, he's still in zone, taking those floppers. He had 4. At the same time, Robab's starting to make a high ground play. Yes, he yoinks all the way up and all the way through. One player here, it's Froggy. He's got to fight this out. 97 points for Robabs, 5 eliminations. It's still possible, but only 12 players left. He's basically got to find everything. Oh, the nice reverse stairs. He can still make it work with a big pump. Yes, Froggy goes down. 101 now for him. And potential still for Robabs, but he's got to slay out. 10 players remaining.
10 players, and he needs every single elimination. That's 40 points there, and the placement as well. This could be it. This could be the run that he has been going for this entire game. But with the eliminations going down, it's looking good for him as well as Bad Sniper.
Yeah, Bad Sniper just got another one. He goes down. Robab's perfect. Drops down. This is what he needs to do. It's not necessarily the best play possible to win the game, but he's got to get every single elimination now. 115 points. Joku combining for more. Where's Bad Sniper? Still somewhere on low ground. He's got to be. And he does take out another one. So everything is coming down to this. It might even be a 1v1 to qualify between all these players right here. Top 4. Robab's still on height, though.
Robab's absolutely playing perfectly. He needs to keep going down. He needs to keep putting the pressure down. If 4ZR steals eliminations away from him, that's points. This is a back and forth battle. Even though there's 2 other players, they're not concerned with each other. Nice elimination there from Robabs. That's another point going over. 4ZR, though, still in this game. This could be 4ZR versus Robabs. As Bad Sniper going down. That is it for him. Robabs, though, looking to make it play happen. 44 HP could possibly get the victory. This could be enough. RPG going down. It is going to hit 1 HP in a dream. Robab's looking to get 10 eliminations and the victory royale. We'll see if he's going to be able to do it, but it's looking dire. It's looking bleak. The only reprieve that he has is this Mountain RPG going down, and he does pick it up. Luca going down, but 141 points. Is it enough?
Is it enough? 141, that's a big question, but Robabs keeps his cool, but I'm not sure if he keeps his spot in the grand finals. It's so close. I mean, that went down to the wire. Bad Sniper in that as well. EU's done, though. We're going to go check out in the house party with Zeke.
Competitive content creator and IGL. It's your fellow Arab. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing really good, man. I'm doing really good. I've had a great day. Been enjoying watching this reboot round. Excited to be here. It's always been a kind of a dream to be on the Fortnite interview on the main channel. So.
Yeah.
I mean,
dude,
dream on the
awesome.
interview.
One of us is very excited about that. So I'm going to throw it over to your close, personal, and childhood friend, Shy Wager.
I mean, some people mistake us as cousins sometimes as well. Similar looks, similar glasses, fine beards. But talk to me, man. You're talking about dreams, like being a grand finalist, top 80 now, right? What have you been doing this week and during reboot round to prepare for the 2 days coming up?
I told my girlfriend I'm not going to see you this week. We're long distance, so the only time I really get to see her is just FaceTime. But normally it's like an hour or 2 a day, maybe 3. I told her, you literally only get me for 2 to 5 minutes this week. I got to go hard. This is it's a big opportunity. Everyone kind of doubted me coming into this. Arab's not a solo player. I practiced so hard, and I switched my sensitivity. I grinded literally 12 to 15 hours a day, nonstop. And I even said, like, dude, at the beginning of when Souls was announced, I said, I messaged Elite and I said, I don't deserve Elite scrims. Like, I don't think I'm a top solo player. I got to focus on other things. And I worked on grinding my mechanics. I felt like those would be a waste of time for me and somebody else could have that opportunity. And then I did it. Yeah, I did it. So it felt really good. And I've been working to get better for this week as well, working on my weak points, fragging and endgame, etc. So.
I mean, that's like the whole stream side. That's the comp content side. But there's other sides to Arab as well. You got a YouTube series out, Inside the Mind. We all know about it. At the same time, when you're not comp content creating, there's a lot of stuff you do on stream, man. Like, walk me through who you are. Like, if people don't know you.
My name is Jafel Arab. You know, I'm a Lebanese boy from Georgia, USA. My parents, you know, typical foreign parents, never wanted this gaming thing, and they never really understood it. You know, just now it's starting to like get to them. I just, you know, their son spends their time in their room entertaining people online, and that's what I do. I literally get on stream. I stream for 10 to 15 hours a day. After I'm done streaming, I get off. I edit YouTube videos for 3 to 5 hours. Got a podcast. Like, doing it all. That's what I do. I do it all. I play competitive Fortnite on stream. Sometimes we watch YouTube videos, just chill with chat. We got the best watch parties on Twitch, baby.
Ooh.
You know what it is.
Ooh.
All right. Hit me up. This last question might be a little bit of a hard one. Tell me the best teammate you've ever had. Trios, squads, duos, right? You got to pick one. And your best mod to date so far.
Oh, listen, best teammate, I got to give it to Kaz. He's like the dream teammate. I very much enjoy playing with Kaz in squads. He knows that, though. It's like it's just that one girl that you can't get. So that's Kaz.
True.
You know. And then best mod. I can't say it.
Oh,
True.
I respect it.
I wanted
I
the
respect
Twitch
it.
controversy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, that's it for me, man. Like, I'm just happy to see you here, bro. It's been a long process. Mechanics, brains, everything. Now for you, man, the top 100 await on Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be so hype.
I've been wanting to hop on an interview with you, Shai, on this forever.
Yeah.
So just really
Dope, man. Dreams coming true.
Good moment.
Yeah.
Bro, that's so awesome. So happy you're here. So what we're going to do is open up the floor, let you plug whatever you want, your Twitch, your YouTube, whatever you need to. The floor is yours, man.
Awesome. I'm actually twitch.tv/Arab is where I stream. I stream every single competitive event. No excuses. Every single event. And then Twitter and YouTube is your fellow Arab. On Twitter, I just go through my thoughts. It's called Inside the Mind of my games and explain to people trying to come into the competitive scene why I did something, why I shouldn't have done something, and just like tips on how you can do it. Yeah, that's it. That's my socials.
Dude, that's so awesome. Well, hey, listen, for all you guys out there, go give this man a follow. He's incredible. And I mean, Shai wager vouches, so that's it. All right, guys, I'm actually going to go head on over and throw this to a break. So you guys keep partying. I will be right back, all right?
Thank you.
All right, here we are, Fortnite fam. There you go. It's your fellow Arab there, getting to hear from him, an FNCS Invitational Grand Finalist. He's preparing himself for tomorrow and on Sunday. So, of course, Fortnite fam, we are getting ready. But before we go ahead and do that, there are some things we want to go ahead and talk about. And that is, of course, the standings. Which 20 will be pushing on through to tomorrow? Right there, MCES. Sweezer there in your first place spot with 214 points. And if I'm correct, I actually got Bala that is joining me. Is that right?
You do. And we're looking at the top 10 right now. Oh my goodness, are there some names in here that we got to point out? Jopchu, obviously we saw him in the last game. But man, Kindle up there, Fanta up there, Trulex up there, who performed so well in FNCS Duos. They've gotten their second chance. They're rebooted into this. And even the winner, the reigning champion, Nate, rebooted for his second attempt at this FNCS Invitational.
That's right,
I'm
man.
going to
Here
hop
we go.
in there, and that's like, great. You know, I'm back in. Nate's back in. Looking good. Clement in 18th as well, getting up there. Artor, Blackie, Vortex, so many big names throughout the European region able to be rebooted here today.
Man, the cutoff, 146 points there. A lot of these guys, we saw Carton all day, Cartoon, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, Vortex as well, Blackie. All of these guys will be pushing through to tomorrow's Grand Finals. After one final chance, these 20 stood above the rest and said, we are the ones that deserve to be in Grand Finals. That's a story, Bala. That is a story.
That 100%, and they definitely deserve it, because we saw in those last couple of games the amount of people who are fighting for that opportunity to say they're playing in Grand Finals. It unfortunately fell short for a lot of people, but you should be proud if you made it all the way there. I mean, I'm thinking of people like Robabs in that last game and Bad Sniper, who ended with 141, Zeke. So close, but that is the nature of this reboot round. It was cutthroat at the end of the day.
That's right. Well, that pretty much wraps up for the EU region, Fortnite fam. We are going to go to a break. When we return, though, NA East will be on deck. Which 20 will push through tomorrow? Well, you want to stay tuned to find out. See you on the other side of this break, Fortnite fam.